someone who gets turned on by like Mario, maybe.
Yeah, no, you guys could totally dress up like Mario and Luigi. You're player 2.
Only his dick tickler's a little further back than the mustache.
Mario, please, it's so simple.
Mario, is that a mushroom in your patch? You're happy to see me.
It'd be even better because halfway through it just turned into Smash Brothers.
Oh, Ben's coming over. Got it.
Oh, yeah, Ben. Waluigi, there we go.
To get a Super Smash.
And you can invite Cody. He can be Waluigi.
Even Waluigi isn't skeezy enough for that one.
Toad.
Really?
No, really.
Yoshi.
Make him Peach.
Oh, Peach? That's obviously Ashley.
No, make Cody Peach.
Oh, Cody Peach.
That goes with the degradation and the masculation.
So instead of Peachette, it's going to be Codyette? Is that how it's going to work?
No, we're not changing anything for him.
Oh, no, he's just dressing in pink like Peach. Okay.
Prom dress and everything. Looks like he got fucked next to a dumpster in the 80s.
Yeah. The problem with that is that he's going to fight him for the outfit.
Yeah.
Fair.
They're both skinny. We put them both in there at the same time.
Yeah, probably.
Wait, are you talking about in the costume or in the boss's ass?
Yes.
I mean,
Fair.
it fits like 2.5 raccoons.
Hey, if it fits, it fits.
Boy, Mr. Skinny.
If it fits, I sits. What?
Anything's a butt plug if you sit fast enough.
I'm not sitting.
What the fuck?
What? What was that? One more time.
Nothing.
Anything's a butt plug if you sit fast enough.
Mind your business.
Mind your business.
Mind your business.
Is that how you save money, Laura?
Oh.
But if you don't aim right, you bruise your ass for like 3 months.
Oh man, bruise the tape.
Or you just get to go see a
Bruce
gynecologist.
tailbone.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Laura. Or you just get a trip to the gynecologist to fix stuff.
That's if it goes a little too forward.
Which if you miss.
Yeah, there's like
There's
there's
areas.
other directions to miss.
I know. I would. That's why I said or.
One ends up with a mushroom print on your ass cheek. The other one, well, you got violated. It's mine. I didn't even consent.
What were you wearing?
Standing in the mirror.
Wow.
Standing in the mirror. You deserved it. What were you wearing?
No, that's more like you
I'd
wearing.
fuck me.
Raped yourself and can't even tell anyone. That sad Kermit me, you're just crying in the shower.
Wow. See, that comment just made it just a little too real.
No,
That one.
No,
Kermit,
still
You
good.
sound like you're speaking from experience.
Kermit has.
Still good.
I mean, big.
It's that accidental moment where you're going to town and like it just goes in the wrong hole. You feel violated and dirty.
Now I know what I'm up.
Well, one of you is dirty after that.
Am I a man or am I a mother?
All right, so
On that note,
On that note, we get back to the nice tour that this very gentleman is taking us on.
The torture, for some reason, made a weird Muppet-like twist.
a 3-hour tour.
it just ends up being like, It's a Small World.
We see all the porcelain dolls doing the small world.
The Pirates of the Caribbean.
And they're singing, "It's a small world after all."
But like
There's
no,
one
no
just sitting on your
faces,
shoulders.
Yeah,
just
no.
ambient noise, like
Just
words
ambient noise and the
coming from all
heads are
over.
This
moving.
feels like it's coming from the void. Great.
Technically, Laura's legs and stuff are a place to hide. So do I see dolls hiding like behind her legs and everything too?
Not yet. No,
Okay.
you haven't seen anything like that.
I was so hoping for a response like
Yeah. Cool. I mean, I'll Lieutenant Dan myself. I don't give a fuck. He already worked out the wheelchair somatics. Like,
Arkin, you ain't got no legs. How are you supposed to hide with no legs?
Or have you finished creating the spell Divine Claymore?
It's hiding in sight. She just makes everything. She's a vegetable, and she.
No, I'm gonna be the wheelchair, but like, so all my hiding archers, I gotta like pulley system my way up to the tree.
Yeah, if you got anything hidden on the
Gotta
top shelf, you're fucked.
Gotta put like handicap ramps in the tower when we get back. So I'm gonna be at the top. I just roll down the stairs.
Yeah.
Good news is you'll have the handicap bars in the shower, so when you do fall down too fast, at least it's only a dillo once.
Unless you find out you like it.
Hey, in that case, more power to you.
I was thinking more like, we're still going if Ashley and Cody are coming back, we end up doing that strip club on the bottom floor again. Like, I got some very specific clientele.
That is true.
What?
You're not putting a strip club.
There are some Middle Eastern men who pay good money to watch
Like
you
some
nub your way through a fucking cake. Yeah, absolutely.
Half fancy nubs.
Little did you know this is going to start her career on Cam Soda. You know, I don't know.
Or continue.
Huh?
Nothing.
I think that's the name of something that I've seen before. It was one of those logos, but I've not.
Yeah. You didn't sound like you said it like something you saw offhand. You sound pretty confident with the name.
Yeah, it's hard to not see those words. Cam Soda.
Especially whenever you're on Pornhub.
He uses Ushi.
No.
I mean, actually.
No.
I mean,
I think Cody's using
Oosh.
No, he has not.
All right, so
We're going on the tour. Shut up.
So
What happened?
I almost got him to shoot Mountain Dew out of his nose. That's what happened.
The sound you made.
Did it actually get up there? Yes!
nice.
I'm happy.
I usually someone should.
That's okay. That's okay. Hopefully, it cleans out a little bit of the resin.
Yes,
First time you
please.
gagged
Kill
in a
some
long
of
time.
that fucking
Yeah, that's
bacteria.
the first time I watched you gag.
What's that?
Kill some of the bacteria that's
Oh,
worked its
actually.
way up there.
That too.
Yeah, we're keeping from
That
in
too.
I
touch,
had my
buddy.
middle sink halfway full with like the extra hot sauce yesterday. And
Anyways.
Is that what we call a homosexual abortion?
Wait, what?
Nothing.
I heard like homosexual abortions or something.
Yeah, just one.
I mean, really
He
didn't get
only
anything
mentioned
wrong.
one.
Look, never mind.
All
All right, so
None of that Middle Earth eugenics, motherfucker.
I don't know. I already did Hitler joke. No, it's headed.
God damn it. You heard that Hitler joke?
Yeah, while you guys are out talking.
all right,
So
so
let me see that Faerun again. Does he have an awkward little mustache?
Why are you gonna ask him out?
Now he's got it.
all right.
Not a sugar
So-
daddy, a bone meal daddy.
There's a joke there, and I'm just not even. All right, so heading up the stairs, leading to the third floor. Turning the corner.
Which quarter?
It's one.
It's the same basics setup as the last one,
Okay.
where central set of stairs, and then you can go two outer sets
Gotcha.
that both go up to the same floor, basically.
Got it.
Just a design decision.
I feel like this is a thing you've designed in Minecraft before.
Shut up.
Not yet. So, immediately upon turning the corner, there's a massive difference between this floor and the last. This whole entire floor, still, you can see the braziers still lit up on each of the columns. But this whole entire floor has that same grayscale feel that you saw from outside. It's the same grayscale feel of your dark vision. And in this entire chamber, you see tables and large vats all on either side. What look to be some form of stone basins in between some of the tables.
I think I'm on vacation.
And you're instantly hit with a smell. A smell of dismembered and partially decaying bodies.
Okay.
It smells like home.
As he walks up and starts walking around the outside of the first table, just looking down at the top of the table.
What do we see?
Yeah, what's on top?
What are you all doing? Are you following? Are you
Yeah.
going your own direction?
Somewhat behind them.
He's going around. Oh, so the basins are at one end of the table. There's like vat and then table and then basins in between tables.
In front of you, same setup basically that there was below, where there is a stretch of carpet that leads to the far end,
Mhm.
columns with the braziers on them.
Why would you have a card?
On either side
Mhm.
is a table and a table, a table and a table, a table and a table, at least 4 deep as far as you can see. And out to the outside on the walls, there are a tank and a tank, a basin, and then a tank and a tank, and then you can see another set of basins going further off.
Okay. And he went around.
We went around the right-hand side, around this first
Right.
table right here.
So I'm going to be following
Oh.
him exactly, but staying about 10 feet away from him.
Same.
And
Oh.
I'm going to ask him, where's the Royal Melon Grayscale?
I'll walk down the middle.
It's a part of the magic that keeps the bodies preserved.
That would explain the lack of extreme rot. It's interesting.
Correct. More natural lights cause the bodies to decay faster.
That's understandable.
Did you come up with the process for being able to do this with the light?
No, that was not mine. That was here when I got here.
Okay, so you are not. So you very most certainly came here from somewhere else.
That is correct.
Where did you come from?
I was originally from Morgrad.
Okay. Which is
On the continent of Faerun,
okay.
the southernmost west end of the continent.
Oh, okay.
Near Calimshan?
Very close to.
Okay. Interesting. If you don't mind me asking, how long have you been here?
If I had to guess, it has been but what is the year? Where do you come from?
Dalmore would know that off rip, but I have no fucking clue.
1491.
1490. Okay, I'll tell you something. In which age?
Just over 2,000 years.
Must be a good process.
Okay. Does the light help extend your longevity?
It certainly helps, but I have other means.
I'm assuming we're still walking and talking.
Yes.
Okay.
He circles one end of the table and begins down the other side, just kind of meandering along. The table that you all just basically were around, you can look down on it, and the body on it is unrecognizable as to what it actually is. It appears that the whole entire body has been pulled apart dissection style, and all of the actual blood vessels have been uncovered, and there is a pump system on one end that seems to be feeding fluid in one end and out the other.
As we're passing by it, this is very interesting. Could you describe the process of what's going on here?
This one right here is an experimental undead that I'm creating. It allows the individual a much stronger resistance to the divine forces.
Dang. Must have taken you quite a many years in order to come up with a process to be able to do something so effectively.
This one is not complete yet. I have not perfected it.
Okay. So if one were to have to guess, it would only be a partial resistance, such as it were?
Not as it is. The flesh does not seem to want to retain the resistance.
Just because you're working with, it seems to me that you are working with mortal materials. Mortal materials in and of themselves aren't going to be that great at repelling the divine.
Generally, that is correct. But seeing as the only way to extract less mortal flesh is to go directly to the planes of existence, I have no interest in that. So I must work with the material that I have at hand.
Have you tried start being this process on a living subject?
Well, this one here was living. But the process itself seems to be unstable and forces the soul out. It appears that once the soul is removed, it no longer retains any connection to the divine.
And you could clearly see the relief on his face as soon as you said there was no resistance. It was quite funny.
Well, no, I was thinking of something else entirely. But I have ideas.
That's why my line of questioning is going. As far as the material,
Actually, I know how to say that. You do.
As far as the materials at hand, it seems that you have quite a bit. Where do they all come from?
This area is I guess you could call it a nexus of sorts. This place is necessary for the collection and maintaining of the undead around the multiverse. So, whenever there is an excess of bodies, there are forces that collect them and send them here. And over the centuries, it is my job to prepare them and send them back out into the world.
Prepare them for what?
For whoever needs them.
So you make undead for others.
That is correct.
Hold up. Pause. Did we just stumble upon Undead Amazon?
Ish.
It sounds like he treats his workers better.
Yeah, right? When they die, they actually get to
Ish.
stay dead.
Now don't teach Bezos that. I'll find some necromancer now.
Yeah, got it. Okay. Back in game. So, still raises the question to me as to the why. Why are you doing what you're doing?
I am merely the steward of this location.
Right.
It is my job to make sure that it continues without interruption. When I first came here, I was but a boy. Over the years, I was trained, and when the time came, I took over the job.
Well, most of us come with our trade.
Okay.
Quick question. The undead that we found outside, the one with the long fingers, what do you call that?
Those are called bone claws.
Thank you.
I felt as much as well. They were an experiment.
A successful one?
I will leave that up to you to determine.
It seemed that it wasn't able to cross your threshold.
These ones in particular are not allowed inside.
These ones. So there are others.
Correct. There are more experiments. There are other versions of various undead.
Do you do these experiments for yourself or for the patrons who ask for your undead?
There are no patrons to be spoken of. I am merely allowed to do the experiments that I choose to. And as long as I continue this place running smoothly, the forces of the universe will not retaliate against me.
I'm very curious
Wait,
as
1 second, I have to go pee.
Yeah, no worries.
I had intended to before hitting play on it, and then I forgot.
That's alright.
Got something.
No, that's usually for shitty.
Alright, quick while he's outside looking at shit. The camera's on, it's obviously a joke. He's gonna go back and see this later and be like, that motherfucker. It's obviously a joke. I don't know what you're talking about.
Wait, what?
That we know of.
Continue.
I'm very curious as to the massive amount of seemingly magical items that you had up on the second floor. Did those come here? Did you craft them? Were they here when you got here?
A little of all. There are obviously certain ones that I myself have crafted. But there are a number of them that were here when I got here. And there are a number that I have acquired since through other means.
So I'm more curious respect the guardians that you have over your treasure.
What guardians are you talking about?
I'm assuming she's referring to the
Sarcophagi.
sarcophagi that we see on dotted walls.
Those are my personal guard that I brought with me.
As a boy?
No. When it was my turn to take over for the former master, I was given the chance to go and collect a number of things that I would be allowed to bring here.
What happened to the former master?
There is only ever one master of the pyramid. Two could not coexist.
So he's a Sith.
So,
So
did
we
y'all?
apprentice Jedi Master. Got it.
So
More so Sith.
that brings to mind. And
Moving on past that first table, over across the center pathway to the next table over,
Mhm.
you can see this one is emaciated, entirely devoid of fluid at all. Eyes completely sunken in with just the barest pinpoints of light blue light showing through where the eye sockets are. Who would be the one paying the most attention to the bodies themselves?
Probably.
Probably me.
I was walking through the
Trying
middle.
to figure out what they are.
You're more talking to him. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Fucking good. Why do you always bone me?
I have balance.
14.
14. The body looks like it's entirely dried. A stick.
Does it look
You
like
can
any
just-
of the undead I've seen before?
Barely catch the rise and fall of the chest.
This undead isn't so. This dead undead is not so undead.
Yeah.
Raises the question: there could only be one master at a single time. Do you have an apprentice?
I do not. I have no interest in repeating my former master's mistake.
Are apprentices given or they're chosen?
I have not been required to take one.
This specimen on the table.
Yes,
Did you make him as such, or did you choose him as such?
this one is in the process of. It is a method that I've used before. It's well known where I come from, but this is a modified version. It is similar to the process used on my bodyguards below, but this one, if successful, would allow it to disincorporate into a fine dust at will.
That in and of itself sounds extremely difficult. Must have taken you hours, days, if not years.
This particular specimen has been drying for nearly 150 years.
So, with as much magical experimentation as you undertake, as much as I'm assuming your duties that you have to focus upon, it begs the question of why have the communities that are nearby been plagued by your activities?
That is an interesting wording that you use. It is more I am plagued by the various rats that scuttle through the tunnels. They continue to impede my efforts whenever they can. So, as I must, every now and then, I must cull the vermin.
So, hypothetically speaking, if you didn't have a pest problem, you wouldn't need to seek out to eliminate the pests.
I'm in the process of eliminating several of the more troublesome types.
Would a worm be on that list?
No, that does not enter this area. There is nothing here that it wants.
Was that
How do
worm
you know
here?
that?
You do not live for 2,000 years and not know the circumstances that surround you.
Do you know
So
what the
you-
worm wants?
The worm wants what the worm wants. It feeds, it travels, generally in an aimless, animalistic manner. It has nothing I want, so I leave it be.
What do the local communities, the pests, what do they do to impede you? Do they destroy your work?
They have, on several occasions, made forays into this area to burn large sections of the corpses that I use for my materials. They impede the travels of those who I have created that need to go to their destinations. They generally do whatever they must to attempt to force me out of the area.
However,
Hypothetically speaking, you have been here far longer than any other community.
Correct. With one exception.
What is the exception?
The one who refers to itself as the Sultan has been here longer than I have.
Quite a character, is he not?
Tiresome.
Telling me.
We've had some dealings with him before.
I figured if you were in the area long enough, everybody eventually makes a trip to him.
So, unfortunately, it's come across my mind that such a large expenditure of your time and energy to wipe out any of the pests can simply be negated by somebody going there and convincing them to leave, thereby eliminating all the issues without any time taken from you. You're obviously very busy with your magical studies. Seems to behoove you.
I have no interest, one way or the other. On occasion, they make good experiments. On others, it does not matter.
I have a question. On the journey in here, we passed hundreds and hundreds of wards. Those weren't your typical ward, from what I've seen.
No, those were my own personal predictions.
Really?
they're quite impressive.
Very powerful. Not impenetrable, even.
I do what I can to remain undisturbed.
Except for those who possess a will to get here.
Some are more interesting than others.
So,
So why are you here?
to keep things as short and simple as possible, I'm assuming by the line of questioning you've already been able to guess, we would like to convince you in some way to leave this community alone, and we can potentially move them somewhere else, so you two aren't bothered by each other. It is a very large plane of existence. There's no reason why you both cannot habitate it and not run afoul of each other.
As I have said before, I care nothing what happens to them. I am currently redirecting one of my portals. Within 10 days, I will have it redirected to their location. At which time, the storm that I brought on them the first time will be able to hit them more directly without a loss of power along the way. My hope is that that will be enough to wipe them from this plane of existence. If you wish to change that, you have 10 days.
Well, that's fair.
That's fair.
It does seem fairly fair in and of itself.
Walking further up to the next table around. This one, you can see that it's in a state of extensive decay. There's no smell. It's suppurating flesh. There's fluids oozing from every part of it. It appears as though the entire thing has simply decayed exactly in place where it's at, without any sloughing of the flesh, without any flattening of it in any way. It just appears to be decayed flesh held in place.
What is this?
This is a fairly recent addition. This particular undead has the ability to self-destruct and spread plague to those around it.
I want to walk over to that one.
You
The plague it spreads creates more of it, right?
Correct. Almost similar to the way that certain fungus reproduce.
So you took your PoE corpse explosion necromancer and made him into a D&D character.
I mean, I guess you could look at that way.
that's one of my favorite classes in Diablo 3. Love that.
Far more fun in Diablo 2.
Never let's go.
One more
Progress.
time.
So you have 10 days to prevent that from happening to you. In essence.
You two are still paying attention to the bodies in particular, correct?
Realize I've been
Yeah,
walking
I
down like
am.
the middle aisle, kind of like.
Go ahead and give me an insight check on both of you.
Technically, we only have like 8 days or something. 8
23.
days and 2 days, right?
8,
23 mod.
23.
I'm going for
I got 18. I did that earlier today, so hopefully that's my only one.
It takes a second to visually put this body back together, but it is almost certain that this was at one point a Smurf nebula.
Okay.
The mound.
The one that's decaying in place.
Zombie bomb.
Yep. Something like that.
So, please, join me. I have food prepared. You can rest. You can relax. You can ask questions before you return on your journey.
Thank you. That's very kind.
Graciously accept your offer.
He heads back out to the center and leads up the stairs to the next floor up above. As you come around the corner, this is, again, as you would expect from a pyramid, slightly smaller area than the one below. Much taller ceiling with a central chandelier that is effectively a gigantic, what looks to be like a 6 foot across brass cupped plate that has fire playing all across the whole entire surface of it, and small arms that come out for smaller brass plates, each with their own individual flames on them. The central flame is more of your traditional yellow and orange with red tinges at the edges, and the individual edges are different colored flames around the whole entire thing. The central table itself is a very long table. Appears that it could sit probably every bit of 40 people. Made entirely out of jet black polished bone. The chairs look ornate and regal, and while they don't necessarily look like they fit in this, it seems to work. They're wooden, covered in like a thicker velvet of dark red. All of the walls are still made out of the same compressed corpses. The floor itself, the same compressed corpses with a deep purple carpet directly under the table itself. And along one wall is what looks to be a table, very long table, that is set with various trays and multi-tiered cakes and large, possibly silver or light brass domed platters that would hold various meats and stuff like that. Large bowls of bread, you name it. Fresh fruit, dried fruit, the whole nine.
Beer?
Do you ask?
Ask, do you have any beer?
We have traditionally in my land we serve various spiced wine or mead, but we do have a couple small kegs of ale. Though I do not personally enjoy it, we have some.
You mentioned we now twice. Who else is here?
I think he's referring to himself in the pyramid, actually.
That is correct. It is a leftover way of speaking from where I'm from.
Understood. I was just wondering if there was anyone else here who could possibly take their brain as well.
No. I do not generally keep company for long.
I can tell.
So, please, eat, drink, rest.
I will be eating, but I'm not actually consuming them.
Oh, I'm absolutely digging into the beer. Just
Okay.
Yeah, no. I'm going to make a point to sit next to him and try to speak to him. Gem that's on the top of the pyramid. What is that?
It is not a gemstone in the way that you would think it.
A pressed piece of the Shadowfell?
No. To the best of my knowledge, I was informed that it is compressed souls.
Oh, so portals elsewhere.
So you did not.
No, I did not.
Okay.
Even with my ability, that is far beyond me.
Is that what powers the portals in the area?
It acts as a sort of beacon for those who would send the material here.
Okay.
So it's an anchor for the portals.
Of a sort, yes. Very
Lighthouse.
astute.
My question is we've seen how the bodies arrive. How do they leave?
There are various portals throughout this whole entire area. It's a strange sort of conflux. This particular area of the plane of Earth collects things from other areas. Even what you see here originally came from somewhere else. Where, I do not know. But this area acts as a focal point, if you will, of magic. So usually, if there is a large cataclysm out in some other part of the multiverse, this area will collect the trash, if you will.
So, as it's being described, this is more of, again, it is a focal point and anchor where the elemental plane in and of itself is thinnest whenever it's rubbed up against the other planes of existence in the multiverse.
A very apt description.
This one just rubs up against all.
No. This one in and of itself is a set point. That's the point of it being the focal point. So, as I gather it, not only has this been going for quite a long time, before even your time. Do you know how many masters there were before you?
I have no idea.
Okay.
There are not very many records. I do not know what happened to my master's master, or if there even was a master. I was not told any of that information.
We'll see what you will. It's not perfect.
I simply take advantage of my current situation. The experimentation is my life and has been for a very long time. So I simply make use of the material here to further my studies.
Were you brought here as a child by your master or someone else?
Do not remember.
Are you saying that because he actually doesn't remember? Did you not think
There
of that
was-
at all?
It was a very long time ago. I did not quite have the abilities that I have now. And some memories have, by necessity, slipped away.
As far as your research things, is there anything that you'd be willing to share?
At the risk of sounding uncouth, you are not ready for anything that I could possibly teach you.
Oh, I have a quick question. Well, with an anecdote. While we were, because we traveled planes often, while we were in the plane of ice, there were,
The Frostfell.
yes, there were wraiths that we came across that were unlike any I've ever seen. Resistant to radiant damage, almost immune to everything.
Wraiths are an interesting form of undead. There is a natural variety simply based on the fact of how they are created. However, it adds even more variety when they are created in a magical area. They tend to take on aspects of their surroundings.
So if I was to say make a wraith in the plane of fire, it very well might be resistant or even immune to fires.
Very possible.
So what if you make a race in the elemental? Or wait,
That's what he said.
I
He is our friend and he
I
has
was-
his uses.
The small one has good ideas on occasion.
He is
out
our
of
friend
game,
and he has
out
his
of game
uses.
for a second. I was trying to remember the place the Topaz Dragons were from. Whatever the fuck that thing was called. The one that was destroyed a while ago. The like
I mean,
chaotic.
no. Topaz dragons are generally from. They're usually found on Toril for the most part. I mean, not saying that they can only exclusively, but the astral plane, because of their psionics tie. I mean, maybe not the plane of limbo or pandemonium.
I might think Limbo only because of the telekinetics.
Right. I mean, get the Yankee, or not to get the Yankee, the Githzerai.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
Another thing I'd like to pick your brain about is very possible sometime in the future I will be fighting a undead beholder. Is there anything you can tell me about those?
Those are very interesting. I would pay quite some money to have access to one of those.
I'll tell you where to find one. But it's still alive. It's
Well,
Well,
as
Still
as it sits
functioning.
as being an undead.
Right.
yeah.
They're very dangerous,
We noticed.
as is the nature of beholders themselves. There is a wide variety. While everybody thinks of them by a certain set of abilities, they can differ quite a lot, and it does not change that in death.
Elemental chaos is what I was trying to think of.
Oh, okay. The elemental chaos no longer is a thing
Yeah.
in Faerun, so you would have to travel to Aevir, which is a whole different planet in a whole different
Okay.
reality.
That's
Okay.
technicality, yeah. It's not so much in the Faerunian multiverse,
Yeah.
but it is a different. So it's like difference between DC and Marvel.
Oh. So
Uh, actually,
I'm,
not
I'm
quite.
breaking
Yeah.
it down. Like I'm trying to make it as super simple as I possibly can.
I understand. We don't
Okay.
But
Yeah.
what would happen if you tried to make a race in there?
Actually, a more apt one would be the video game where it was Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe.
Mm.
How they basically like two completely separate universes that somehow found a way to connect. Aevir and Toril were at one point connected into one planet, and then they were split, and they each have their own like multiverse.
Okay.
Not multiverse in the way that science thinks about it, but plane of existence. How's that?
Toro
But
has
yeah,
limbo, right?
What's that?
Toro has limbo, right?
Yeah, they both have
Correct.
limbo.
They both have limbo. They both have the same basic planes of existence, but Aevir has the elemental chaos as its central hub, and Toril has, you could call it the material plane, the Shadowfell, the Feywild, and like the
Then-
ethereal plane as like the central hub. So
right, and then it's astral plane.
astral
which is,
plane fills
which
in all
is-
of the spaces in between. Yeah. So it's just it's different planes of existence. So it's different setup.
But yeah,
The elemental chaos was there back in 4th edition after the spell plague came through and parts of Aevir came to Toril. and it brought with it aspects of the elemental chaos, including the elemental princes, a lot of the primordials that they were having problems with, stuff like that.
But yeah, most of like all the lore I found on it, that's the place that it came from was the elemental chaos, the Tobeth dragons.
I'd be intrigued. I haven't seen anything updated necessarily for 5th edition. I know they released the Sapphire Dragon. I'm kind of waiting for them to do a lot more.
I've been trying so hard. I was trying to find out what their layers were like and stuff, and I couldn't find shit on it.
Like I said, I'll bring you the monster manual from 3.5 that has them in it. It won't give any updated information, but at least you can get some old information. Which makes sense because your master was from back before this spell played. So it makes sense.
But yeah, that's what I was trying to ask, is what would happen if we made a wraith in the elemental chaos?
That would be
Powerful fucking wraith.
Maybe not.
yeah. I mean,
Potentially, but
that'd be a strange one. I don't know. I didn't really pay a whole hell of a lot of attention back in 4th edition. I read a decent number of the novels that went through that area, but I never really messed too much with the elemental plane of chaos or elemental chaos here. So I don't know. Couldn't really tell you. Not something I've come up with yet. So see if you want to experiment.
yeah, let's not.
So
Experiment. So, okay, as a follow-up question, since there's no research notes that you'd be willing to share,
absolutely not.
would there the massive amount of magical items downstairs? Would there be any that you're willing to part with?
No, that is my own personal collection at this point.
I want to come sit next to him. I'm not going to eat. I'll take a small glass of wine.
Okay.
Just to fiddle with.
Okay.
And she knows not to actually swallow it.
Okay.
Your specimens, do you choose them at random or for certain physical attributes?
Generally speaking, I choose them for their fitness to their form. They generally have a purpose, and I choose them for that reason.
Situation.
Correct.
Other than the bone claws, are there any other kinds of undead that you've pretty much invented?
I've invented any number of them. Mostly I deal with corporeal undead. I've dabbled a little bit in incorporeal.
It's more like, say, shadow undead.
Correct. It's difficult for me to work with soul material, but on occasion, I come across a subject of sufficiently strong virtue, and their soul will last longer than others, allowing me to work on it.
Because still are.
Speaking of corporeal versus incorporeal,
Because still
do you know
are.
anything about the porcelain dolls? Or porcelain dolls in general?
I'm not familiar with what you are talking about.
There were
Several small,
Puppets.
some seemingly possessed.
and also incorporeal porcelain dolls that we encountered in an area we passed through a while back, and they've just been following us ever since. They're not actually doing anything, but they're always just there.
This does not sound like undead of any type.
No.
Sounds more like a curse.
Do you have remove curse?
No, I don't.
What
You
did you
have
touch?
remove curse.
What did you
No,
touch?
I touched everything.
You touched everything.
Steal.
It happened while we were in that tunnel.
I bet it was.
Now, speaking of the
tunnel.
area where we had encountered
The secret tunnel?
yes, the secret tunnel.
That's perfect.
Something grabbed my arm and delivered what seemed to me very cold energy to me. Was that you?
I have not had any contact with any of you until you showed up on my doorstep.
Were you watching us before we came here?
I have taken a peek from time to time, of course.
Making
Simply
sure
the
that was you.
simply the paranoia. As we have traveled the plains, it's best to know. Sometimes we feel.
Please, describe what you are talking about. Do you have magic to show me what it looked like?
More or less, yeah. At
We
a, at a
have
game, at a game, I can.
Well,
Do you
did
have
see
illusion
it?
magic
No.
of any
I
type?
don't.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I thought we took
I'm
one of
not
the
talking about
dolls
the
with us.
doll. I was going to ask about the eye, but if y'all want to.
No. I'm basically leading up to it.
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought we were going, but
Yeah, no.
that one started talking about the doll again.
We have some similar ones with small bells.
Well, he already said he doesn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Oh, curse.
So back in game. Unfortunately, I cannot conjure an image of it. However,
I might be able to help. I've seen it. I can pull out my art kit.
Wait, you saw
The
out
eye.
of game. Oh,
The eye.
no,
That's
because
what
you were
we're-
talking about the thing that grabbed your arm.
I didn't see it. I felt it.
Oh, he said that wasn't.
That wasn't him.
Yeah.
He said that he hasn't had
Correct.
any contact with us since we arrived at the doorstep.
Correct.
Tells me it was definitely something else. So my line of questioning for that is over.
Yeah. I thought we were
Okay.
moving on to the
Yeah.
eye. Did I miss that? Did I
Okay.
No,
misinterpret
you
that?
didn't misinterpret that.
Okay. Yeah, I thought we were moving on to the eye.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no.
Back again.
So you can't. Oh, Doc says he can't conjure. But I said I might be able to help. And I'll draw the red eye. That's been periodically.
You were talking about the scrying eye. That is not mine.
Also good to know. We seem to be very good at making friends here.
You have the ability to see magical items, correct?
Yes.
You watch for a minute as he closes his eyes and performs a casting. Please, over your right shoulder, search out magic items. You look and you can see what looks to be a desiccated eyeball, shriveled with a yellow point in the middle. That is what my scrying eye looks like.
Not anywhere close to what was described to me. No.
I wonder who has the red eye then.
I do not know.
I thought.
I wonder if it's the Sultan.
I wonder if it's the salad.
Fire.
Fire.
Douchebag's not even with us anymore. We
Yeah,
have
I
to pay
don't-
for that sin.
He-
I swear to God.
Hold on. As far as I'm aware, he
so
doesn't mean
fucking
you have to come
angry.
to the plane
was
of
awesome.
Earth just to do that.
Not necessarily, unless he has someone there who's tracking us here.
That could be it, but then there has to be another salamander or someone else intrinsically linked to the plane of fire.
Yeah.
Because you can't really arcane eye through dimensions.
Yeah. I
You gotta be
know.
on the same plane of existence.
That's not arcane eye.
It's a scrying eye.
It's a scribe.
Still, I doubt it goes transdimensionally. That's almost not what this up.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that.
Are there any, as you can probably tell, I am not versed in spells that are more of utility as far as the illusion being able to cause anything. Do you have anything that you, of my level, that you'd be willing to share with me?
I do not have much reason to be of any aid to you.
That's fair.
Yeah.
My business is my business. You are here for a conversation.
While they're figuring that out, I'm curious. The lights, is that solely aesthetics, or do they serve a purpose?
Which one's
What-
the black ones?
Well, these are multicolored.
Oh, the colored lights. A little bit of both. There are certain protections that I take for even someone as well versed in undead as I am. Areas like this collect energy. Energies that I would rather not deal with.
That you and I definitely agree upon.
Here's always a fun one to bring up. What's your opinion on religion?
You're trying to really convert. You're the annoying fucking dude that knocks on the door. Do you have a moment to talk about Lathander?
Have you seen Lathander's light today? God damn it, Daniel.
The fucking, you're like, every floor we're going, every left shoving like Lathander version of Watchtower pamphlets on every floor.
I've never tried to, what's that called?
Convert.
Proselytize? Oh.
Yeah,
Proselytize.
proselytize. I've never tried to do that. Okay, so.
Not yet.
Actually, I am a man of God myself.
Which one?
The god Anubis.
I assume my character would know who that one is. That one seems like a pretty famous one.
Highly doubtful, actually.
It's
Oh,
a
The
different
Mulharani gods are not necessarily well known across the continent of Faerun. Mostly because of the fact that canon lore, the people of Mulharan actually came from Egypt.
Oh.
Our reality
So they
Egypt.
got like,
Oh.
kind of like how these other societies have ended
Neat.
up in like the plains. They got boots from somewhere else.
Think Stargate. Like
That's
in how like they were
exactly
like
Yeah,
taken from.
yeah.
Yeah, think similar
I
to that.
love
Oh.
Stargate.
No, I wouldn't say I loved it.
I thought the
It was a good concept.
SG1, the movie was fantastic. SG1 was really good. Fell off a little bit after that. Atlantis wasn't terrible. Everything after that was not well. Anyway,
So we
Yeah,
can't like
you-
metagame.
you can roll for it. Give you a religion roll. Not at disadvantage because it's not that unknown, but it is not common.
Do you want a different guy?
No. I rolled good for once. This time I got a 20.
The 20. Yes, a very, very little known god of Mulharand, Unther, and on occasion, I want to say Thesk. Some Thayans, maybe. But it is a god of death.
So we don't get to gush over it because that's metagaming, Anubis, and like how he like needs virtuous souls, and Anubis is the one that like weighs the souls, and okay,
With all your power,
the organs just
are you a
twitching.
chosen of your god?
No, there were. I predate that concept. I was inducted into my religion long before the changing of the gods.
Did you choose this god before or after coming to this point?
I was drawn to Anubis as a young boy.
I feel that. No, that's like.
Another question. I can sense people's auras and get a sense of their feelings and thoughts, but I feel absolutely nothing from you.
As you should not.
Is that some sort of magic you have around yourself, or
I do not share all of my secrets.
If I were to hazard a guess, it would be this magic of this place, which he is intrinsically linked to it, while he is in here and while we are in here, getting very little information, such as something like that.
I was thinking if he stays true neutral, would anything show up really? If he's just straight neutral, neutral thought, neutral everything.
So, do you have any further questions?
None that I can think of.
Do you feel your work serves Anubis?
Of course it does. I gather, care for, and propagate the undead throughout the plains.
You continue his work.
In a form. He collects the souls. I merely do the same with the bodies.
So in your mind, you're not so much a necromancer, you're more of an artist.
All traits of art.
Titles are titles. I have been called many things.
When you look for virtuous souls for your more in-depth experiments, how do you determine one's virtue from
There are certain spells that I can use that show the inner spirit of a person, their goodness, if you will.
crocodiles and hearts and feathers?
Hmm?
It's like crocodiles and feathers and hearts and all that.
Sugars and spice and everything nice.
if there ever weren't a master of this pyramid, would it still remain?
I do not know.
It seems more like this is the cause of the force of the universe holding it together, whereas he just works it. Yanks kind of the time. As long as the housework's done, he can do as he wishes inside.
I have a feeling this place has been here time immemorial.
I feel it's a
Well, not in this location. But I have my own suspicions that it has existed in some form. If not forever, then as close to as anyone can get.
When you first came to the pyramid, was it in this location?
That is correct.
So, I'm sure you have pride in the things that you do. What have you made that you're most proud of?
Well, good. That's okay. I have a number of spells that I have made, specifically for the propagation of gathering material. Those are my personal pride.
They gather the material to you?
Not per se. One simply is intended to corrupt an individual, and the other one simply kills large quantities of people.
So your news.
I believe you have seen the outcome of that spell.
The village.
That is correct.
Definitely a powerful spell.
No.
That's the storm we were referring to.
Yes, that is correct.
A stronger version of it.
One that won't
Lot.
lose power when it meets its target.
The spell itself loses power the further it has to travel. So in order to increase its strength, I just simply have to release it closer to the source.
Hence, important.
Good to know.
That's interesting. It's an interesting way of casting, where you root the source to increase your actual power.
How much would it take for you to teach one of my friends here that spell?
That is not going to happen.
Not that one.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think we should have that spell.
I should have that spell, but that's just.
This is the very power to warp reality itself. I do not give that at all.
Again, that one.
Warping
No.
reality.
Should not have it. No.
No. Everyone says no.
But I want it.
You offering up your hands as payment?
No, how am I going to cast it?
Verbal components only.
If it's verbal components only and it's that powerful, bad.
So we just have to get his tongue before he learns it.
Hmm?
Nothing.
If I weren't limited by 6 seconds, I could probably go for
You're used to that.
Oh, fuck you! Damn it!
He said if I wasn't limited by 6 seconds, I could offer him a lot of help.
So the second
Yeah,
D&D couple is formed.
God damn it!
The sad part is it took me so long to realize that.
Daniel and I are just a bromance.
Yeah.
For not getting it or for saying
the
it?
DM walks alone.
Working to those girls.
Right? That's
God damn it.
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't
That's
think
fine.
there's really not.
I just create my own love interests.
Are you saying that as
The
James
Sultan?
or as Amon?
Yes.
Both? I mean, we didn't look at all the tables.
True.
One just has a body where it's just all holes.
I mean, he's old enough. He could be depositing a very special embalming fluid. I don't know.
I mean, I would
Oh,
say
please,
that
like
I
you
don't.
haven't taken something older. Like,
Oh! 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 Oh!
So, I have a question.
Ow!
Would you see your work as evil? Or would you see it as just
Is.
I don't necessarily look at it that way. There are virtues and there are what I do. I have no interest in the world outside of where I'm at. I would not even know how to answer that question.
Have you ever wanted to do anything other than this?
I'm not really sure that I understand your meaning, but I believe the answer is no. As I said, I felt a strong calling to Anubis as a child,
Mm.
and ever since then, I have walked his path.
What are your feelings on the other gods of the multiverse? Say, other gods of death, or even gods with opposing views as to yours. Say, like my god Lathander.
I care nothing for them, one way or the other. I have heard of your god. I do not see any usefulness.
I mean, spring cleaning.
We can't agree on that one. Death is always with us. That one.
Not usually.
Yeah, he likes to leave.
The light merely reveals the flaws
Light
that
only
others fail to see in themselves.
and light creates more shadow.
I see no real need for shadow either. The stark dichotomy, not for me.
I understand that. I'm too more comfortable in the dark.
So you see things more in a. You see the world in more of a gray light, then, you would say. Where the absolute rights and absolute wrongs don't really meld well with the world.
Describe something you would consider wrong.
An absolute wrong.
I mean, if you follow death, death is constant. It doesn't matter if what you do is right or wrong. Everything has the same end.
Yeah, that's fair. I would say an absolute wrong would be stealing medicine from a diseased child. That would be an absolute wrong.
That's a medical professional. I'll say no.
How certain is this child's death?
Exactly.
Without the medicine, inevitable.
But with the medicine.
With the medicine?
Preventable.
I'd say 50% chance
But
with
if
medicine.
someone else is better off, if someone has an 80% chance, why waste it on 50%?
Now we're at the fucking iRobot kind of reasoning.
You're not wrong.
But it's true. That's what we have to do. That's also why we tell you guys wear fucking masks during fucking pandemics.
So, my answer would
No,
be,
wait, I think there's a contract with that.
what purpose does the child serve?
From a Cooper standpoint.
I think
Shut
I see
up.
where you're coming from with it. The child itself would serve no real purpose other than to survive and continue his community.
If the community itself is worth saving, I see purpose in saving the child.
So you see the world from a logical standpoint. You simply care about the true purpose of things.
I do
Keeping-
not see any other way to see.
That's
So
a very-
you've taken emotion out of the picture entirely then.
Emotion is for beings far younger than I am.
That's fair.
You
You are
gods
2,000
would get
years
quite
old.
upset to hear that.
Except for the small amount of pride that
It
you
would be interesting to
taken.
watch you insult him.
He's frivolous. He is
Egotistical.
foppish, egotistical, correct. I see no real need to interact with that creature.
So the only emotion you allow anymore is that small bit of pride you take in your work.
If you label pride an emotion, you're correct. I would not label it as such. Pride is purpose. Pride is a driving force to make you do better.
It's your motivation, okay?
I do not see it as an emotion.
I can understand that.
I must say, you're absolutely full of surprises. I didn't come in here expecting to.
Have a philosophical discussion. We came in here expecting to kill you.
I actually expected not to get along with you.
That does not surprise me.
You're intelligent.
You-
You knew
you
we were
make
coming to
sense.
kill you.
There
Okay.
were not many other options.
Not for us, at least.
well, with that, I'm gonna finish stuffing my face.
Yeah.
Very well. Actually eating the food?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm digging in.
Go ahead, mate.
I was gonna say,
Jesus
if this guy
Christ.
wanted us dead, he wouldn't have to poison us.
But
Correct.
it might not be like he's purposely doing it. Like we just don't know what the ingredients are or anything, so he's not thinking of it as poisoning
It's-
you.
Doubt it.
Very interesting. You're not used to food like this. It's heavily spiced, dark sauces, rich meats, very rare. Pretty much what you would expect from a culture that is modeled after Egypt and the Middle East.
Spice trees.
Very, very, very strong flavors. Unlike anything you've ever tasted before.
Oh yeah.
Up to you whether your character enjoys this particular flavor, but it is unlike anything you've ever tasted.
I think he would. I mean, it probably reminds him just a little bit of the Feywild, considering everything's enhanced there.
Correct. Actually, it probably would. Less
Into the Faerun?
less airy.
He's
Oh,
from
buddy.
More
He's an
earthy.
Elendrin.
That's where I'm from.
He's an Elendrin.
Less airy. Less herbal and more like punchy spices. But yeah, it has that same dichotomy of like very heavy, like very
This
strong
side
flavors.
of my character.
So yeah.
Yeah, he enjoys the hell out of it then.
All right. I offer you room for the evening before you make your trip in the morning.
That is appreciated.
That's extremely grateful or gracious of you.
Are the beds made out of bodies, though?
Dibs on Big Spoon.
If you would all like to follow me.
Okay.
Did anybody else bother eating any of the food?
I did not.
I think I'm gonna stick to my
Rations.
Are you taking a keg of
Okay.
beer?
Oh
Alright.
yeah, no, I'm gonna absolutely pick up a keg and be like, can I take this with me?
Absolutely. We do not see guests very often, and I do not care for the stuff.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So, leading you back up the next set of stairs.
With our cleric now recharged.
or inebriated.
Same thing.
God damn it, Daniel.
Damn it, damn.
The
Damn it.
next floor up is very lavishly decorated. The whole entire floor is covered in layers of thick rugs.
To cover the dead bodies.
The standard red and gold carpet that runs down the center to the next staircase on the far side, but there are large round rugs placed all around this whole entire floor, each one covered in layers of heavy furs, mounds of thick cushiony pillows. There are tapestries that cover almost every square inch of the walls, with the exception of the areas directly around the staircases on either side. And each major rug in this area, which are probably about 12 separate sections of round rug, is topped by a brass bar with a curtain drawn all the way to one side.
Are they open?
They're all currently open.
Yay, so we all get to sit around each other, so we don't have to worry about separating the party.
Please make yourselves at home, and I will be down in the morning to see you off.
Thank you so much.
And then he walks across and heads up the next set of stairs.
Okay.
I'll be going into one of the areas, doesn't matter which. I'm going to sit on one of the beds, and I'm going to start ritual casting this tiny hut.
Oh my god.
All right.
I want to look at the tapestries.
Because heaven forbid if a high-level spellcaster has dispel magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, heaven forbid, but I still, get
Hey! I don't knock it.
Right. whatever helps me. Okay?
Right. Yeah,
I'm so
absolutely.
used to
It's like
sleeping
the
under it
comfort
now.
blanket or
Yeah.
like the monster spray. It's just water in a bottle,
That's
but
it.
it makes the spellcaster feel
If it
better.
makes you feel better, it makes you feel better. And I ain't
Definitely so.
gonna knock that. Not one bit.
Right?
You're in a dangerous ass fucking place. Yeah, absolutely.
Get it? Yeah, no. As soon as the hut is up, I'm still designating everyone, including a familiar, to come in. But the second it's up, I'm going to immediately start eating my rations.
Gotcha. Okay.
I didn't eat.
I know, but just the way you said it and did, like
I'm going to pop
Like
my
you're
head in. You really
starving.
should have eaten. It's very good food.
I don't discount that. However, I think it's a little unnerving to see our cleric of Lathander just stuffing his face in especially with food that was made by someone who deals in death and in undeath. So you can understand how I'm a little taken aback and kind of
I'm going to be honest. I like him more than the Sultan. I actually think this
Okay.
guy's awesome.
no. Personality wise, I think he's better off than the Sultan. However, the Sultan did not escort us to where he was by taking a friend of ours hostage.
Well, I think it's heartwarming that two religions can sit down at a table together. Hashtag peace in the Middle East.
Yeah,
She's got a point.
okay.
Because normally I spend my life
Hooray!
doing
Keep us
his
monetized
life.
for another day.
It was nice to
Oh, damn it.
You
have
do
a
have-
discussion.
So we've got Israel over there being a douchebag. Got it.
That's a third level.
Not even.
You can literally create your own land inside of his land. So
That's not what happened. That is not what happened. I didn't create anything except a barrier between him and
a
I.
wall.
A wall.
Oh,
An
Gaza?
iron curtain,
Do
if
you
you
call
will.
it Gaza? Like,
No.
An iron curtain. Effectively.
Why do you always try to
What
make
is it?
me seem
Iron
like
Dome.
the
It's an iron.
asshole?
Isn't it called the Iron
I'm
Dome?
not making you seem like
Yeah,
it. You
no,
do
if
it
you didn't-
It's
yourself.
literally called the Iron Dome, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No.
So
Oh,
if
I always thought
either
it was
of
closer to Palestine.
you feel like being nice, remove curse is a third level spell that both of you have access to.
Sure, buddy, come here. Come here.
Uh,
Let me help you.
He has access to. He does not.
I just looked through it. He's a wizard, right?
Well,
Yeah.
wizards only have
That doesn't mean
access
that
to
he
the spells
has
that
all of the
knows.
spells.
Anyway.
He doesn't have access to every single wizard spell. He has to put them in his spell book.
So while I poke that fire, I'm gonna put my head back out and still wanna look at the tapestries.
Yeah.
So
I'm
nicely
gonna
done.
waggle my fingers at you.
So nicely done.
Hold on a second. Well, because he's talking about remove curse.
Okay.
So Daltmore's gonna waggle his fingers, and I'm gonna make a big show of attempting a spell casting. All right, I should have done it.
You really have to pick on the little halfling thing because someone hurt your pride.
No, that's someone you.
What's your
You are-
passive deception skill?
My passive deception.
How do we calculate that?
It's
10
10 plus-
your
Yeah,
deception?
Same as a passive wisdom, or same as a passive perception.
I learned something
What's
new.
your passive insight?
How's a bit? What?
So
10 plus your
insight.
insight.
Oh, no, I forget the second.
What do you mean you don't know what your insight is?
Oh, okay. Okay, I am. So 17.
Oh,
There's no
shit.
such thing
You
as-
absolutely know that he's fucking with you.
Fuck you, Don.
There's no such thing as passive stealth.
Oh,
right?
fuck you! Not everyone has that spell.
Look, when I
Passive
wake up,
stealth
I'll have
is
to
a thing.
do it.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
Passive
I'm really
stealth is
worried
if
if
you
there's
are
something
moving through an
Sasha
area where
or
somebody is
something.
not actively looking for you. Generally, that's not a thing.
perception?
Huh?
They wouldn't fall with perception.
If they are actively looking for you, they roll perception. If they're not actively looking for you, like say you're trying to sneak around the outside of like an everyday normal
wisdom.
building
Yeah, where people wouldn't
where
be
people wouldn't be
You
hyper
better
vigilant,
have fucking insight.
vigilant, then your stealth is rolled against their
That's one
passive
that you've
perception.
never bothered.
It would be the
with
same
on
thing
there.
like for your own party if your guys are just doing normal things. Like
yeah,
your
you've done with us before.
yeah, like a sleight of hand check can be done if nobody's actively looking for it because you roll your sleight of hand against their passive perception.
Mm.
So
Got you.
Yeah. So hypothetically,
I like the
speaking-
idea of passive, like using passive skills for fucking a lot of different things.
You need a hammer.
You have to hit it hard.
Like you mean it.
It owes you money.
Up and then push.
Pretend like
guys
you're
are
your
ready
dad.
for orgasm.
Not gonna be.
So that would mean I would have a passive Arcana.
Passive Arcana is for if you pass within a certain distance of an incredibly strong magical effect.
Okay.
If you pass through a mythal, your passive Arcana would give you a chance to notice it.
21.
Well, that's
You
what
would
I was-
notice.
That's why I was asking you about passive stealth. That's
Right.
one. I was
Because
like,
you're
Yeah.
just like, I want that high score on that.
Yeah, no, like
'Cause that's-
there,
that's-
there,
10 plus my Arcana. So like,
there are uses for most passive skills. Passive athletics is if you're a forced march or a long distance climb. You would not only have to make like an athletics check, but there would also be your passive athletics would be how far you can go before you have to take other action.
please no.
Like there's just things like that.
Please no. Not that one. Never that one.
Acrobatics, please.
Passive acrobatics would be if you are trying to fight, like say if you are hand-to-hand fighting on like the upper spur of a ship at sea, that's passive acrobatics.
Just how well you would
Because-
naturally balance.
yep. Absolutely,
Pirates of the
your
Caribbean.
natural ability to balance.
Okay, now I want to do that just for the Pirates of the Caribbean aspect. Though.
I go more for the Peter Pan, but okay. You know, God damn it, I fucking love that movie so much.
Me too.
Oh, that movie is so good,
Can't
What,
float, can't
Hook?
throw.
that is a good one.
man.
Where
I
Prince
love
Zuko got
Penguin.
young Prince Zuko.
Yeah, I love that fucking movie so much. Yeah. So, all right.
Tapestries.
Tapestries. There's no rules to make to see the tapestries. You have a number of the tapestries for the most part are just simply there's a number of 8 tapestries all the way around the whole entire outside. 2 of them appear to be very intricate designs. They don't tell a story. They don't show necessarily pictures. They're just incredibly intricate designs.
Oh, they might still tell stories.
There are 2 of them that are scenes. One appears to be it appears to be a view from the window of a very posh or royal type building. The view of the tapestry, you can see the outer line of the window that it's looking out of. Outside of that, you can see a lower courtyard, all done in pure white stone tiles, with several smaller fountains and one large central fountain. Just beyond that is a large sandstone wall. And outside of that, you can see built onto and into some of the mountains that appear to butt up against one side of this palace are various houses of different styles. Very colorful roofs, very white, stark walls. And they all seem to be placed going down the mountain, and then you can see that they go down into a lower valley with a river in the very, very distance that looks very fuzzy from where the view is at. The other one that seems to be just a simple scenery shows an oasis. Very highly detailed, shows a caravan of there's a caravan of several larger sized camels. These don't look like regular camels. They appear to be like mutated of some sort. Roll a knowledge nature check.
So would it just be nature then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I have a tendency to refer to it as knowledge nature, just because it's a knowledge skill. But yeah,
What are you doing there?
Well, I'll
So
mess with it.
15.
She wants
15.
to fight, play. So.
These,
No, she started it. So.
though you've never seen them, you can tell that they share aspects with other versions of creatures that you've seen before. Would be dire camels.
Oh,
Dire camels.
Dire camels.
Alrighty then.
Nearly twice as tall as your average camel, pulling incredibly. They're not pulling. They have on their backs these almost house-like huts that have any number of like various sacks and everything all around the outside. These appear to be merchants of some type.
It's kind of like letters.
Right, there you go. Thank you. The ones that like the Indians would dots, not feathers,
Yeah.
would use on the backs of the elephants.
that's always how he's described it since we were children.
I believe you.
In 4 words, how better could I like parsley describe? 3 words? Okay. But anyway, so and it appears like a group of merchants stopping at an oasis, and like setting up camp at the end of like the day because you can see the sky and like all the colors of the sunset. The rest of the tapestries, on the other hand, are much darker. Lots of dark blacks, browns, reds, oranges. They appear to tell a story. You can see from the very beginning a number of slaves being lorded over, and they're building a number of structures. The view itself is pulled very far back, and you can see only just the basic concept of the slaves at the bottom, all building these various structures in the background. You move on to the next tapestry in line, and you can see the finished buildings, each one of which is seated what looks to be a living godlike figure on various thrones around the whole entire area.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to the next one, and you can see there's an uprising. The slaves are apparently trying to fight off, fight their own. Trying to remember the lore on this one before I fuck it up horribly. Initially, the slaves and the gods are fighting against an invading force. In the next one, you see a peaceful transition from less godlike figure or less esoteric godlike figures and a central human-like god figure, followed by another uprising, followed by a complete destruction, followed by a more natural scene of a city being raised and built. And in the final tapestry, looks almost identical to the one previous, simply more populated. Give me an investigation check.
Nine, 17.
17. It's hard to see them. But looking closer at the second tapestry, there has to be a reason why there's 2 nearly identical tapestries.
Right, I wanted to look at those anyway.
The second tapestry has hidden in several of the different spots around faces that resemble the esoteric gods that were toppled in the first uprising tapestry. Very cunningly hidden.
I just
that
hear
theory.
the dog groaning.
Mm-hmm. We all can.
Don't kink shame.
Get my little Ralph. Okay.
So it's only in the second of the first two tapestries that I see the faces.
Yes,
That
the
I
faces
see.
of the gods on the
Esoterics.
thrones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They have animalistic heads,
Mhm.
each
Like
one
a
of them.
Nubin.
Yeah.
A bird,
Like
a jackal,
Faerun and
like a crocodile. You can.
traditional.
Yep.
We're sticking to our basics.
Oh, Anubis.
When I compare the patterns outside of the faces to the first one, do I notice similar patterns in the weaving and such? Are they the same intricate patterns outside of the facial areas, or just enough to be similar art family but not?
That's an interesting call to make.
Either way.
Give me a history check.
Not politics, right?
No, this isn't. No, this wouldn't be politics. What
I was
is?
hoping.
No. This is actually kind of barely in that realm.
That's up to
Yeah,
you want to give
yeah. Go with
fucking
politics
God.
because
me.
it's a little. It's only hard. It's not that it's not politics. It's only hard because it's in an area that, if you hadn't gone out of your way to specifically research politics,
Mhm.
I would not be allowing this.
I don't know what's that.
Advantage.
Yay.
Yay.
So 12 plus 2.
Then we should get sneak attack on it.
Okay. 14.
Isn't that just what politics is?
There are subtle differences. It's hard to tell whether this is, say, It's hard to tell whether this is a set of tapestries that were made by the same family over several generations, or if they were made by one person, or like what the situation was. There are definite similarities. So while it's hard to pinpoint exactly the situation surrounding their creation, there's enough evidence here to say that they're
related
They're
in
related.
some way.
Correct.
We're so similar to say they're related.
Correct.
You know what?
Do they look like they would fit together in some way? Just using my eye, would I be able to maybe make a line or a symbol?
They were absolutely created one after another with an intentional purpose of telling a story. Absolutely. But they don't technically fit together. All of the edges are wrap woven,
Right.
so they're not intended to be in that regard.
I'm not looking maybe for it to be like a split cloth that was once one day two, but maybe if you go beyond like the borders or whether you're using for the decorative edge and kind of go more towards the meat of the patterns, does it look like these patterns would match or fit together?
Not particularly.
Do I notice a pattern in the pattern? So reoccurring lines, symbols, knots. Can I maybe try to use my knowledge of language and thieves' cant to see if this would, the way it was formed, would create the story?
With the exception of the final tapestry, there are no real signs of any hidden meanings or hidden structures or anything of that type.
So it doesn't look like the pattern is a language.
No. The final one is the only one that appears to have anything hidden or different about it, if you will. But there's not. It's hard for you to really grasp it. This isn't a culture that you've dealt with at all before, and it's kind of throwing you off a little bit. You know what to look for, but it's just making it make sense just doesn't really quite stick.
With the second one, the faces, do I notice any similarities or differences? I know they're all animals, but are they looking in different directions? Are they all facing like straight ahead and centered?
Standard religious iconography as far as who's looking where, who's doing what. Anubis looking ever so slightly down. Ra would be looking slightly up. Isis would be looking at Ra. Standard religious
Okay, so that can
iconography.
probably follow their lines of sight and
Yeah.
discern.
Yeah, it wouldn't take a huge leap of logic to kind of put two and two together for certain things. But this is all just simple iconography.
Okay, there's no basic. As I follow their lines of sight, it doesn't lead me to anywhere in particular on the tapestry.
Nope.
And they're hidden within the design.
The ones where they're hidden in the design.
Yeah, the faces that you're saying they're not.
Give me 1 second. I have to pee real
Oh, no,
quick.
you're good. You're
I shall
fine.
return.
You're fine. You're good.
Like you're offering her lord, she wants it.
I'm well aware. I'm perfectly fine to provide.
While we're sleeping, I changed one of the spells.
I'm still gonna be up for ours watch.
Actually, I have to change.
Sibling time.
So wait, do you help him hold it, or does he help you hold it?
I didn't see him walk out with a pair of tweezers.
Damn.
She is a little rambunctious today.
She woke up here. She was pretty chill.
She looked pretty chill, but I guess I got her in a mood because now she's ready to go ape shit on my hands.
Oh my god, so I was laughing.
It's because the way you're starting today.
My finger in your mouth, yeah? Yeah?
I actually think here in Pyramid's a good place to call it.
Yeah, I think so too.
My thing is, does anyone have a way to set like basically an alarm clock?
Yeah.
Can we set an alarm clock?
Oh, in game. Oh, I thought you were about to be like, yeah, everyone has a fucking phone. But yeah, no. I don't.
You know, it's nice to see that the character sheet's a little different.
You haven't really.
Look at your intelligence level.
You don't have my intelligence level.
Yeah, we do. We all looked at your shit while you were gone.
Why? I don't do that to y'all.
Making plans. Well, so anything comes off the printer, you
No, I don't. The fuck I do. The fuck I do. Even James knows I am very adamant
But
about
James
not
and I both
looking.
know you don't look for the whole thing, but you might catch a glimpse or a line or.
I don't intentionally look at anything.
I
don't.
will believe him that he does not intentionally.
I mean, what his subconscious leads him to do.
I mean, I don't care if you do that.
George will be George, so subconsciously, does he catch a word or two? Absolutely. I have no doubt that he does. But at the end of the day, I know he doesn't intentionally do it.
Dad said to go fuck yourself.
You're just mad because most of your scores are under 20.
And yeah, I get better rolls than you.
Oof.
Ooh. Yeah, because I don't have fucking expertise in as much as you do. I don't have as many skills as much as you do. And I'm sorry. Like, I do more damage in a single, battle than you.
Depends on the battle.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. How many people have you killed?
Yeah, I still do more damage in a battle than you've ever done in a round.
Who died the second session?
I wonder
Are you
who's
talking
killed
about,
more
like,
people, Mary.
Emotionally, when you talk to yourself? Like,
No.
Oof. Okay, so.
Yeah.
Continue on.
As far as, you're asking about who has sniped all my fucking kills, I can tell you.
Okay, so all I get is assists.
Kill steal.
Yeah, right. You should definitely KSs.
The KDA is more like a KD.
Camping works. Camping
Yeah,
works.
right.
Hey, camping works. Camping works.
That's true. Her KDA is more like a KD. So.
I mean, all right. So you were asking.
Hold on. Roll break.
You were asking about the faces on the
Yeah.
final.
So
Tapestry.
I'm trying to think. So they're all looking kind of to their realm. They don't really lead or follow a pattern.
You're talking about on the
Elsewhere.
final one.
Oh,
No. The of the two, the intricate pattern, hidden faces. So the second out of that set, the second one was when they had the esoteric faces hidden within them. Correct.
One way.
Wait, hold on. Repeat that again.
So the first two tapestries, the intricate design ones. The second of that set.
No.
No.
The intricate tapestries ones didn't have any of the faces.
Okay, it was
in
the
them.
final
It
of the
was
four that had the hidden
the
faces.
final of the final of
storyline.
the storyline
Okay.
ones. Yes.
That goes here.
Can't really do it with this guy. 'cause he's taking it.
Set.
Well, you know what I mean.
He said they're hidden. Are they hidden
I've got like one or two things.
just in the design, the pattern itself, and
Yes. Each one is specifically placed according to the faces that are hidden are the same color and basically the same everything as the ones on the larger one where the faces are more obvious. And based on the colors here, they're hidden in a very specific place on this tapestry where the colors match with the
Okay.
background.
so following from it was the second one had the esoteric faces when the buildings were built, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So comparing the second one to the fourth one, do I notice that the faces are in similar locations? Or have they shifted to meet the environment?
They've shifted to meet the environment.
The environments that they shifted from, do they coordinate with
Baby
the
looks.
building?
No.
Okay. So we're feel like we're maybe matching more by color than by other symbolism.
For the placement of the faces, correct.
I can take a 10-second fucking drive from my party piece, so I can't need that fucking thing.
Okay, I think I'll settle into one of the beds for now and think about that wall.
Make a flat intelligence check.
That's just the
D20 plus your intelligence modifier.
Yeah, no, I get it. So, like, the
13.
D really have to gone down.
Oh, no shit.
My front two are the ones I use for cannons.
Something's bothering you about the faces on the last tapestry.
Is there a bed that I would be able to prop against and look at it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
There's
the one I'll
absolutely. There's a right below where the tapestry is one of those the round rugs with all the furs and everything on it.
So that would be where I use for now. Unless you just give whatever name.
All right.
Go around the room. I'll give.
I was going to pick a bed that's not in the hut.
Okay.
And how comfy is this bitch? Is this a nice bed or is it like a medium bed? How's
They're-
it compared to the tower?
They're not beds. It's a fairly thick rug. It's a thick, shaggy woven rug is what is the base for the whole thing. And then you have a thick fur followed by another rug, a little bit stiffer of one. And then that's followed by another fur. And then on the top is almost a thick quilted blanket almost. It's not stuffed like you would see in like Cormier or something like that. It's
No mattress per se.
right. It's not like a it's
there's a phrase for it.
It's
Not
more
a net,
so-
like a nest, but it's like a.
yeah. I don't know. I
still wanna
can't
say
remember what
litter
it's
again.
called.
Is it litter?
It's more so Japanese style than anything.
No, they have mattress.
They have a mat, is what it would be considered. But this isn't that. It's a woven blanket that ends up much thicker. And then that is just simply covered with a very nice fur over the top of it. So it's layers of material. Very comfortable.
How's it compared to the tower? Sleeping in my special bed up there.
It's not as, I guess you could call it, your mattress in the tower is much softer, much more what you would consider luxurious. This is luxurious on a whole other level. It's similar comfort feelings, but completely different. This is not soft and spongy and squishy, and yet it still feels like you're sleeping on feels like you're sleeping on something proper.
Okay.
You're definitely not sleeping on the floor, but you're sleeping on the floor.
Well, fuck
But
yeah.
you're definitely not sleeping on the floor.
Well,
This shit fucking comfy.
I was pretty happy with that.
And there are a ton of pillows.
Does it look like we could move the bed in any way?
Well, the rugs, you mean?
Yeah, I'm preferring to use the bed.
I mean, in theory, you could, yeah.
Please don't roll.
I'm gonna ask him the next morning if I can have it. Gyatso prefers sleeping on the floor, and someone.
Look, however you get.
I mean, there are sections in between them where you could literally sleep on the bare stone.
No,
Or not
No,
bare
he wants,
stone.
he wants to
Stone,
take
but
this home with him. That's why I said don't steal. Don't.
Oh,
I wasn't planning on stealing it. I was planning on
I mean,
asking him for it the next morning.
could probably put it in Dothramar's.
Oh,
No.
it wouldn't fit in the
You're
bag,
not-
though.
It would not fit in a bag of holding. Absolutely
You're
not.
not putting shit nowhere.
There's no possible
If you
way
like
that this
it-
pile
Talking
of
about
rugs and
traveler's pack.
If you like it, you can buy it yourself. It's furs and blankets.
Since there's a bunch of these all around the room, I'm going to
Correct.
gather up a bunch of pillows and make a pillow fort.
all right, cool.
Or get drunk at the pillow fort. Make
Yes.
a
I mean,
partial
who the
entrance.
fuck wouldn't?
Yeah, right?
That's
I have
not-
a whole keg of beer here, a pillow fort. I'm in a luxurious
you gotta have
necromantic pyramid, scared as shit. Fuck yeah, let's go.
More pegs
Comfort-
downstairs.
He's getting in his happy place.
lights. So he wants, you want to be suffocated and
There
you
you
sleep
go.
by pillows, not by bodies, in case something goes
Yes.
south. Okay.
Makes
The body
sense.
gets to the floor. I was saying that whenever whenever we were first getting there, as far as like the bodies were falling out of the portal.
Uh-huh.
That song
Yeah,
had been playing in my head.
Same.
All right, so everybody is down for the night.
Make sure
How
my
large are
curtains
some of these
closed.
blankets?
Each individual carpeted each individual section of all of it
Mhm.
is probably about 6 to 7 foot.
Mhm.
Probably closer to 8 foot. Let's call it 8 foot
Mhm.
in diameter as far as the actual full circular area. But some of the blankets and carpets and stuff like that go a little bit smaller than that. Probably the smallest one that you would see would be the very topmost one, which is about 6 foot-ish in diameter without perfect edges.
How large is this Miss Tiny Huts again?
Large. 20 foot across, 10 foot high.
Anything with weight in the area other than what are the pillow stuff with her? Do they feel like they're mostly feathered, or would anything be like
Mostly
brain
feathered.
filled?
Mostly feathered. There's a couple of them that appear to be filled with a
Like a melody kind of.
there's certain types of grass where when you pull the insides out, you get those almost strands of silk.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them appear to be filled with that.
Damn, that's cushy. Any books or anything?
No, nothing in this area.
Why are you gonna try to trap me in there?
You're gonna be trapped. It's just gonna fuck with you.
But why?
To the best of your knowledge, all the food is still downstairs.
Hold up. See, that's meta knowledge.
No, it's not. He just wants me to split the party.
No, that's not meta knowledge. That's a divine intervention.
No,
I don't understand the difference.
I'm saying if Art gets one side of the blanket, I get the other side of the blanket. Make
Fireball in the center, right?
No, I'll just say make enough noise that Doth's gonna think we're all dying. He can't watch.
What the fuck?
Jesse, can I get him a blue Mountain Dew, please?
I don't know if we'd really be able to drape one over the bubble, though. I think it would
But
just
we
go
get a
through.
couple. That's what the weights are for.
Just, he's just trapped
Like I said,
underneath the
everyone-
blanket.
Yeah, everyone leans against them. He can't see out. A little control freak issue who built.
I mean, that's
the
entirely true. God damn. Oh, how bad would that fuck with Doth?
Exactly, he did it for control, but now he took away his line of sight. To balance it out still.
I mean, they have a good argument. It's just to make you humble.
That's not what's happening, and you know it.
And I can present this to R, not as fucking with Doth, but you know what? He's always having issues. You said pretty good with the pillow fort. We can just move your pillow fort that way.
That's sort of a good idea.
R's drunk right now.
And the
Wouldn't
leaders-
it count that any item that they're carrying, since I designated them with Lem's tiny hut being able to pass through?
No, we're not
wouldn't it
trying
ca-
to pass through.
No, I understand
It's
that.
with intention.
However, it doesn't matter if you're trying to pass through or not.
But if I'm not touching it directly, if the blankets are touching
If
you,
you're touching the blanket, I still would think that it would count.
so in that case,
So, it's like, do your clothes
so in
not
that
count?
case, can I take an arrow and poke it through the layman's hut and hit his ass as a piercing without the strength of the bow?
Can't have one or the other.
This is bullshit.
You gotta have both.
This is
Or
bullshit.
a bolt. How does a bolt exactly work when it's shot from a magic bearer? So, like, if I
Oh,
get
wait,
R
if I
drunk enough
remember
to
right,
shoot
then
a
layman's
lightning
walk
bolt at
off.
our conductive friend here,
Projectiles.
That
How-
is magic. That would not be considered
Well, I was
under
saying-
the
I was saying-
object in your possession.
I was wondering the length in which it exits a hand or a guiding instrument. Is there any point in time where it's connected to R?
There's no physical connection.
Oh,
The energy itself is considered a spell.
fine. I'll stab him.
Now-
He won't shoot him.
Now,
That's a good
Now-
point.
he
Yeah,
does
I'm
have
not
to
aware.
choose between one of the two. Either the mechanics work to where you would be able to put the blankets on the hut, or the mechanics work where you can shoot an arrow into it. Because that is something of yours.
No, hold on a second. No. It blocks all projectiles.
No,
Yes, it does.
I did not say it was exiting my hand. I made very distinct.
She said poke.
Or say pie him in the face with food downstairs.
Right.
Why are you fucking with me?
Well, now you're trying to make it difficult for me
Well,
to fuck
wait.
with you.
If projectiles,
Whatever, just do the
Laura,
fucking blankets. Just do the
Yay!
fucking blankets.
if projectiles can't go through, then all you
Yay,
have to do is throw the
teleport.
blanket on.
I know I already tried the whole like I'm not physically touching it, the blanket's touching it, and he went
I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching
I'm
you.
not touching you.
James.
Not touching you.
Wouldn't he technically have to give permission for Umbra to enter as well, though?
No.
We got a thing going on.
Mhm.
And that's the case, then like you just surprise abortion people by walking through those things.
Oh, oh. We might not have known you were pregnant before, but now we know you're definitely not.
That's not good.
That might be a good way to think of like the
You
woman
just walk
there.
through and like leave this mound of
There you
flesh
go.
behind.
So that's what you're like. You never have to pay child support as long as you have all your one night stands in the hut. You just let them walk out.
Oh no, you would have to have sex outside,
So you, no,
then come in.
No, what you did, so you always have to have a follow up. That's when you invite them over one more time.
Yeah. Exactly 6 weeks later.
Is that when they become people? To Republicans? I don't know.
Right. I mean, I guess it depends on whether you're a conservative or a progressive. If you're a conservative, then you could do it literally like immediately afterwards, and then you're fine. If you're a progressive, you kind of have to wait until it's actually like out and takes its first breath and says its first anti-fascist comment. It's only when they become people. Before they make an anti-fascist comment, they're not people.
make a new soft spot.
A new one.
Yeah. I see what I said.
Right.
I mean, it works nicely because you'll either create a soft spot on the wall or a bald spot on your head.
Oh, nature's already doing the second one.
Oof. Oof. Oof.
Fuck.
Oof. Oh, is that why he's drinking mineral water now? That was a knuckle. Damn.
That's what the little blue pills are for.
Probably he's big.
All right. So,
Pillow fort as a family.
all right.
I'm still propping my end up against the direction to eye those
The tapestries. Okay. Go ahead and make another intelligence roll. After your endeavor with R to cover up the tiny hut. Going back with fresh eyes.
Fuck you.
Fuck you guys.
No. We got even lower. I'm 11.
It's eluding you. You can't really. There's something with the faces, but you can't quite piece it together.
Can I recognize the animals?
You can recognize the animals. All of the faces, all of the animal faces that are represented in the big one, or in the other tapestry, are represented here. Each one of the same type is here.
Well, not just that I can pinpoint, but I know what animals roughly are.
And you have a basic concept. There's a number of these animals that you wouldn't know the specifics, but you can tell that one of them is a canine type. You can tell that one of them is a bird type, very specifically a water bird. You're incredibly well versed in nature as far as natural animals.
This built city,
Yes.
does it look like something foreign to fit these distant lands, or does it look more like cities that I would recognize?
No. Definitely a foreign land,
Definitely foreign land.
city, foreign style. Everything about it
Okay.
is very foreign.
Just looking at the faces more, do I feel like there's anything hidden amongst them once again?
Taking another look at around each of the faces, there's nothing more hidden.
As all the tapestries, are they positioned as they normally would? Does anything look like one's lower, higher, skew?
No,
Looks like
the tapestries are all right where they should be.
It tastes like the Kraft mac and cheese, like cheese does.
Yeah, it does.
No, like
It's really not bad.
Not
It
just
does.
eat barbecue.
The city, so the city looks very foreign. Is there a pattern to the city's layout?
Not particularly. It doesn't. The city itself, it's only shown from a slightly elevated angle, so you're looking mostly over the tops of a bunch of buildings at this central structure that is some form of palace.
And there's still more of the slave structure, correct? The slave figures were in the fourth one as well.
Far fewer, and you really have to pick them out. They're not as obvious that they're slaves. You can see a number of them where it looks like somebody's cart has a cart, and it looks like he's following a guy, but he's dressed. He's there. It takes you a little bit to really kind of piece it out that there still is slavery here, but it's definitely more
feudal.
Shitty way to put it. It's a more sophisticated form of slavery.
Right. You're saying the palace that I see, does it resemble the Sultan's palace at all? Does it feel like it's a similar?
There are aspects to it that are similar. It looks like it could have been in a similar style to the
Similar
Sultans, only in a
cultures.
completely different age.
Similar cultures.
Mhm.
Um,
There's less bulbousness to this, but there are aspects that are similar. Like they will have the cup-like rounded balconies, but there aren't the big cupolas on the
right, it's
tops.
kind of like the development of Byzantine
Yeah,
style, like Constantinople.
similar idea. Correct.
Transferring in. Okay.
Yep. So there are definitely similarities.
Yeah, so this is probably supposed to be older. Missing something. I know I'm missing something.
No, absolutely not. Go fuck yourself solidly with a fucking rake.
Hey, you have all 3 holes with that one.
It's bad.
No thanks.
I can't fucking do it.
Some of the best cheese strips I've had.
I bought one of those when I went to get a sub at Publix at one point, and I chucked those motherfuckers in the garbage right away.
It's just like
I can't do it.
the Kraft mac and cheese dust. Like if you
There's
accidentally,
this
like get a pocket that you didn't mix in.
There's this sourness to it that sticks in your mouth, and I can't know because I'm used to a sourness that really hits you right behind the like right below the ears.
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to that. That shit doesn't go away. It just constantly makes you feel like you're gonna throw up in the back of your throat. No, I'm good without the fucking constant vital flavor.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, not a fan of those. Like I love cheese.
No way.
Were we gonna do shifts, or is everyone just gonna pass out?
I'm just gonna pass out.
Pass out.
Oh, too.
I think we're safe here.
I guess I'm going to color while I think.
Okay.
I know what I'm coloring.
Okay.
Hidden faces.
All right.
I want to try and get a better perspective of their design.
Okay.
See that.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So you're gonna spend the next like 2 hours
Yeah,
basically
just
like
my
doing
leisure
the,
time.
Yeah, no problem.
Sounds like everyone's tranced out, passed out, whatever.
That makes it far easier. About 45 minutes it takes you to sketch out the faces on the one where they're hidden. Looking up, comparing it to the ones that you have on the tapestry where it's hidden, you feel comfortable you've got them all where they need to be. Taking a chance to take a look over at the other one. The Anubis one's not facing the ground. The Anubis one's facing straight out as if looking at the person looking at the tapestry.
Cool.
It's bad whenever death stares you in the face.
No, death knows its pride. It's all of us. Just make it a fun chase. Am I getting kind of comfortable in this art skill at all?
Getting pretty comfortable.
Can I recognize this as something other than an artistic style to have the eyes follow? Do I feel like it's more of an artistic design, or do I feel like it's bothering me more?
Now that you're like you have it on paper, it's absolutely obvious. The one on the tapestry where they're obvious, you can see Anubis's face is looking. Picture tapestry.
Yeah.
Anubis's face is looking to the side and down at the ground.
Classic.
Yep, very classic. On the one where his face is hidden, it's looking straight out at you.
Straight. As I move, let's see, where did R settle compared to this?
R probably would have settled as you walk up the initial set of stairs. Dothamar would have been over here to the right-hand side, probably. If you are battening down below that tapestry, you would be over on this far corner. That would put R right here. I think you said one of the, you said the corner to the left, I think, Daniel?
I said Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Right, because like the two corners themselves that would be open would be over here.
So
Because
little-
Dothmar's here and Arkin was over here.
So almost
Yeah. So
not
I think it was actually this first one right here.
This one over here?
Yeah.
Okay, so
to the side.
R
of
would be
me.
over that way.
To the side of me then, not the back of me.
Yeah, I guess you could call it.
Okay, so if I move closer to R, do I feel like the eyes are still following me?
No, it's nothing like that.
Okay,
There's not enough detail there. It's not a painting or anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's not like enough detail for it to like follow you or anything.
Well,
It's just a matter
like
of the face is
artistic
just there.
style where if you center it completely,
Yeah.
do they follow you throughout the room? That's what I was looking
If
for.
it had more detail, it probably would, most likely.
Okay.
But it doesn't seem like that was necessarily the
stitching
intent.
or cross stitching or whatever is not
Correct.
cohesive enough. Okay. I want to walk in the direction it's facing through the room. I want to kind of follow its line of sight a little bit.
Okay. Walking across the room to the far side, which would be right near where R is,
Perfect.
is one of the tapestries where it's just a pattern. There's no like drawing. There's no actual scene or anything on it.
Do I feel like it's directed to any part in particular?
The room's fairly wide. It doesn't look like that's the intention behind this picture.
Can I look behind the tapestry? How the weight? Am I able to move it?
The one with the
intricate.
intricate design.
Yeah, the one that's being.
Yeah, I
gazed
mean,
at
it's
by-
easy enough to kind of pull it out a little bit. It's connected at the top with a bar, and it's connected at the bottom with a brass bar too. It's a fairly thick, heavy one, so you can't necessarily like slide it because it doesn't crinkle that way. But you can definitely pull it out a little bit, enough to like get a peek behind there. Nothing to see behind it.
Oh, sure. Why don't you try for the blankets?
I'm not there.
Oh, you're there.
I'm not looking where you're looking.
No, you're asleep. Trance, whatever.
Sure. I'll be texting you what I'm doing.
I mean, R sitting in the room with pillows.
Oh, from inside the hut?
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause I didn't go straight into trance. I just,
No,
sat
we know.
there eating
Yeah, you're
my
right.
rations, watching you assholes. Because you didn't say you waited for me to go to sleep.
No, I know.
That's true. Yep.
I know.
Yep.
Yep, I know.
Yeah, no.
So, what do you do?
Somehow it makes it funnier. You're just eating your rations, watching us like this.
I don't know. I'm missing something. And the carpets on the floor were just the regular ornate, like dark reds plus what we're sleeping on.
Yep.
How many gods are there?
I mean, what?
How many gods? Esocentric gods? How many faces do I have? Roughly.
8, 9.
8, 9. So less than the number of beds in the room.
Correct.
It's about 8 to 10 for like their major gods.
Yeah, he said
so.
12. He said 12 beds, 8 to 9 gods, 8 tapestries.
Are you looking for something hidden here? Or?
Yeah, I feel like there's
Yeah,
more.
I did miscount on the initial like tapestry, so it would have been 6 for the ones that make up the scene.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
the way that I described them should, I think.
Yeah, because the way you're
Probably.
kind of
Yeah.
doing, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like 10 tapestries. That's all right. It's still not quite aligning. Yeah, I feel like there has to be more purpose to Anubis facing outward. But I guess we can deal with that in the morning. Because
Do you-
humans gotta sleep.
Do you think it would be something that's concealed in the room?
Yeah, at least I'll deal with you guys in the morning when you wake up.
Hold on, I might have something for it.
Because I'm still going to knock on Doc's pillow fort and ask if he has a way to set an alarm.
I'm actually going to cast the second level spell, Augury.
Okay.
I'm going to toss my dice and I'm going to ask, Is there anything concealed in this room from me?
Besides stuff.
Well, besides stuff.
The shadows seem to pull back from you, as if to give you more of Lathander's light. That is a yes.
Okay. Well, you're right. Something is concealed. The light in here, it's by Brazier, right?
Yep, same basic concept. There's one on either side of the staircase here, one on either side of the staircase on the far side, and then one between a set of tapestries, one between a set of tapestries.
Are you going to turn all the lights off?
No, it's just the light's coming from Brazier's, huh?
They're called headlights.
Brazier.
Brazier is another word for, like,
So your IQ matches your internal age.
I mean, sometimes.
At least you're double digits, I guess.
Is he?
I'm not going to turn the lights off. What I might do is make it brighter, though. Do you want to get that shot?
Sure.
It might reveal something. Yeah, why not? Let's humor it. I'll cast daylight.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Blinded by the light.
Okay.
Daniel.
He's gonna look over at me and be like, "Are can you see anything?" I'm just like, knees to the ground, face on the pillow.
God.
It was.
You ruined me.
It wasn't exactly dim in here before. Like, the Braziers keep it pretty lit.
It's lit in here.
It's lit.
But
Was there the
With-
equivalent of the sun in here?
with a quick casting, it is bright daylight now. Midday sun in.
Minus the radiation.
No. Every bit the same radiation.
It is daylight.
It is
Fucking
daylight.
sunburn me underground, you motherfucker.
It is literally daylight.
We're not technically underground, we're just in ground. There's no above ground here.
After
So you
seeing
can
that,
find
yeah,
the
so
difference
we're gonna
now.
leave this room, go out to the hallway and see what the fuck these guys are doing.
So I know it makes its own. No, that won't work because it makes its own atmosphere underwater. I can't suffocate. I can go in there manually and do it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna start ritual casting lambdas again, excluding all these motherfuckers.
Seriously.
You know, I'm really thinking about it, but
Up
Dom,
to you.
Dom cares about his friends, even if they like are a bunch of fucking assholes.
It's your trance time.
I was hoping he would, because then all the blankets fall on him.
And
Yeah, I thought about that too. That's why I didn't do it.
No, it really could suffocate him.
I mean, they're heavy enough. Like, if you chose enough of them just right,
Arkham's not
there's
light.
actually a decent chance it could happen.
Arkham's not light enough.
All right,
Suffocate
so
you. Wake up
Do
in
I
the
see any
morning.
change in the room at all? Any change in the tapestries in particular?
make a perception check. Perception, or are you going hands-on?
I'll go hands-on. I want to touch the goddamn thing.
I'm going perception.
It's bothering me.
Go ahead and make an investigation check. Go ahead and perception check.
Yeah, I stared at it long enough. I want to play with it. 15. Plus 8.
20.
We're not
20?
doing phrasing
23.
anymore.
23. I didn't hear what I missed.
She was just like, I've stared at it long enough and get my hands on it.
Again, just because your IQ is
All
12
right.
doesn't mean you act 12.
That would warrant a phrasing.
Yeah, see? Get fucked.
Okay. You're investigating which tapestry?
I'm going to go back to the of the storytelling list with the faces
Uh-huh.
for the Nubis.
The one with the hidden faces?
Yeah, the one that's looking forward.
Okay.
I'm going to start there and work my way across.
You and R. Looking over the tapestry. R kind of moving around and like just looking at the way that the shadows play across it. You're sitting there and you're kind of checking the weaves around each one of the faces. And just as you get down to check the Anubis one, Art taps the tapestry again to check the shadows. And you watch as the Anubis face doesn't appear to have a change of shadows.
Well, all the other ones do.
And all
That's
the ones do.
interesting. So very magic.
Yes. Would have to be.
The fuck
And
is-
then has no change in shadow. We could try exposing it to complete darkness. It'd be hard to perceive with him now. But
Not gonna lie, at this point, I'm afraid something's gonna come the light out of it. It's dark.
I'm curious.
We could take it downstairs. No, it's heavy and
It's
attached.
You could turn off the lights and snuff the braziers.
Stuff the braziers.
Snuff. Snuff. Not sniff. Snuff.
No, stuff.
Stuff.
You stuff braziers. You snuff
I
braziers.
mean, you might need to stuff yours.
Braziers,
Not
that's
all
right.
of us do, sweetheart.
Actually, if I don't start losing weight, I won't need to stuff a brazier. brazier.
So Gyatso's just kind of standing in the doorway now watching these two.
So did we wake you up?
Yeah.
No, I always have him like meditate. Like this sleep.
He always tries to sleep in bright daylight. All right, what are you guys doing?
You think the darkness is the way to go?
Yeah. I mean, we encountered quite a couple of things that react to either light or dark. This is actual daylight, like the sun that I'm putting on it right now. So, show at night maybe.
So that's magical darkness, correct? So our dark vision will help us there.
Correct.
That's if we use magical darkness. I don't actually have that available.
So you're just gonna snuff out all the
I was
light
just
in
going
the
to turn
area.
off all the lights and then relight them.
How quickly can you do that?
Hearing you guys talk
Magical
about
stuff
this,
will probably hurt us even in the hut, correct?
What?
Magic stuff can still hurt us through the hut.
Highly doubt it.
Cool.
That hut's really tough.
So you do that while you turn the lights off. I'm gonna go use this for a shield.
Okay. Any idea on how I can get the braziers to actually shut off? I'm good at starting fires, not putting them out.
Gust. Anything? Anything to swift breeze?
I'll go ahead and
Thaumaturgy put a
Yeah. So
light
how
out.
fast are you? How many brews? Now you got me saying it.
I have Gust. I can just
Razors
put them all
are
out. real fast.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10. Coordinate with the.
You guys want me to put the fires out for you?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'll start using Gust on them and put them out.
You know, he's in. I'm gonna pull one of the blankets off the tapestry side of the hut. And scoot into the hut.
Okay.
A little extra.
What you doing?
Using you for a meat shield. Morning.
Okay. R. You watch as
You can get out,
Gyatso.
take the blankets with you, please. Off the top
All of
my
them?
head.
No.
Off the
You
top.
watch
Not
as
bad.
Gyatso stands in the middle of the room before busting into an incredibly fast, very well performed kata as he shoots wind at each one of the braziers.
Okay.
Airbender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Real
so-
quick, I'm assuming you have a fire in here, correct?
Hmm?
I'm assuming you have a fire in the hut
Why?
or whatever. Usually you have something for light.
No.
No light,
I
no
didn't need it.
Okay, just making sure before I break something. Okay, so no lights. Got it.
Okay.
So all the lights are, once all the braziers are out, I'm going to go ahead and drop daylight.
Okay. Daylight drops.
Staring at the tapestry. Let's see what happens.
From across the room,
Oh, is it that far away?
opposite corners.
Um,
Opposite corners.
And you
walk
have a
up and have a
blanket
look
in your
at it.
way right now. And you have blankets in your way.
No, I did mention pulling the ones on that side off.
Oh, okay. I thought when you said demon, you were just like going on room.
I'm not that stupid.
I'm gonna cast
I'm a
guidance and
little
walk up
stupid.
and have a look
Not
at
that
it.
Okay. Looking, perception, or are you hands-on investigation?
I'll walk
Just
out.
perception.
All right, go ahead and roll perception, please.
I'm here screaming. I'll go walk towards R.
Okay.
I'll go closer. Still watching the tapestry to see if I notice any changes.
Oh, that's good.
You get this?
27.
27. All right. There are no shadows in the dark. Tapping the tapestry to see it waver the same way that you did before, there's no shadows to really give you any sense of that there's anything wrong with it.
So it looks more natural.
Correct.
Which is fair. Raw look the same?
What's that?
Raw looks the same?
All of the other faces look the same. Anubis is the only one that's different.
Hey, Dr. Lamar.
Hmm?
Are you awake?
Yes.
Can I borrow your magical eyes?
I will. You're still in the hut with
No,
me?
I saw it. R was okay, so I was
Alright,
fine.
cool. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm leaving the hut on a side that's not covered in blanket.
Yeah, because that's the closest one to me.
Cool, and we'll just walk through it. And if I
Okay.
do, all the blankets fall.
All the blankets fall and hit the ground.
Because the wind is no longer active.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Open them.
I'll go ahead and turn on my detect magic sight.
Okay. Tapestry. Just looks like tapestry. By all appearances, it's a normal tapestry.
The wall around it.
Wall around it still has that magical aura to it that you've seen before.
Does it look any different?
Hold on. Where else were you looking here?
So nothing weird with like specifically this area with Anubis.
What I was asking was, where else were you looking?
I'll point to the one that Anubis is looking towards directly.
Okay.
Try to look at that one.
Tapestry looks normal. You can see the faint outline of like magic permeating around it from where you can just barely see the corpse wall through.
Can I see the magic through the tapestry?
Doesn't
No.
shine through. It's not a strong enough dedicated aura, if you will.
Gotcha. Okay. Anything else?
Nothing
Well,
around
let
this
me-
specific spot.
Hold on. That's all that. All I'm asking is there any other places you want me to look?
I think those were the only two. Let me do
What
this real
about-
quick though.
You can't just do like a quick sweep.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do
all
a quick
the
sweep of the room.
tapestries.
Okay.
I'm not sharing any information just yet. I want to make sure I gather everything I possibly can.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing else in this room that's inherently magical at all. Nothing about the tapestries whatsoever. The only thing that are the braziers are slightly magical.
I'm gonna focus on them and try to figure out what exactly kind of magic.
It is a very simple cantrip attached to each individual brazier. A command word lights the braziers.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna go back to where I was sleeping, move the blankets out of the way, and we'll start ritual casting them.
Okay.
Excluding everybody.
Okay.
So did you see anything?
Fuck you guys.
Before you go
No.
to bed, does anyone have a way to set an alarm clock?
No, I do not. I will, kind of.
I mean,
I
I'll be
was
up
just
for
like,
hours, so.
I'll go ahead. And,
Hopefully, I'm kind of weary of him being so open and honest about the 10 days travel. I would be afraid of waking up 11 days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I will poke my head back out and tell them that I found nothing except the braziers themselves were magical. The tapestries were not in any way, shape, or form.
Tapestries. Tapestries.
That's what I said.
Right.
Tapestries. You said
Well,
tapestries.
yeah, the tapestries go along with the braziers. Or, the braziers.
We were just wondering because Anubis's
That's
face
what
on that
tapestries.
tapestry
Yeah, I
over
know.
there,
I know.
when exposed to light, has no shadows.
Maybe it's just a trick of it. It
The
could be
weave,
something as simple.
but the weave seemed fine. The design seemed fine.
I'm gonna walk up to the brazier immediately to the left or to the right, whichever one's closer, of the tapestry with Anubis' face.
This is one of the corner tapestries. It would be immediately to the left.
I'm gonna walk up to that one and light it, and then see if there's any shadows. Just having it right there should.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
I'm just gonna touch it, see if I can cut it off.
You're gonna go ahead and touch it.
Yes.
All right.
22.
22.
At this point, if R sufficiently intoxicated, does he like roll healing at disadvantage or something? Something stupid bullshit.
We'll see.
The only
Yay!
way, hold on a second, the only way for him to RPR being drunk is for him to get drunk again and grab the Modelo's. No,
We're doing IRLs only.
No, you're not going to get shit
No,
faced
no,
again here.
no. Too late for that.
All right.
3 hours ago.
Lighting the brazier, you can see that with a simple tap of the tapestry, you watch as the Anubis face does not have moving shadows like the rest of the tapestry does.
Are there any?
As you kneel down next to where the Anubis one is and start kind of messing with it to look behind it, your hand goes through the face.
Ooh.
Sweet. Get real tired of these illusions that my
There
hand
you called it.
shit. Do I feel anything when my hand passes through?
On the inside, there is what feels to be flesh. Not very pleasant. The bottom of it, there's cloth. There's soft silk cloth.
I'm going to pull that.
Oh no, you found dead people lingerie.
All right.
She pulls out a brazier.
I want big ass granny.
You want some anime titties.
What is that? What was the movie?
Where like he gets brain fucked and he sees people for the inside, not the outside. So it's like the big
Yeah.
ugly.
Shallow Hal.
Shallow Hal. Thank you. Yes, that one. I'm glad that at least two of you knew exactly what I was talking about right away.
I thought you were talking about the guy who gets the glasses that he goes around the world saying obey, produce.
Okay, edgelord.
That's what I thought you
That
were
one.
referring to.
Yeah, so when you see the memes where it's like the obey monster people stuff, so basically he gets like
Okay.
it breaks. It's a cult favorite. It breaks down society. So you see like the happy fake suburban 1950s family
Mhm.
stuff, and then he puts the glasses on. It's like the Martian looking like obey society.
Oh, okay. I do know what you're talking about. Okay,
Yeah, that's what I thought. I only
Interesting,
I
okay.
barely heard you guys too, so like.
that is true.
That's fine.
All right. Pulling your hand out, you can see you are currently holding a black silk hood. It's a simple hood with a silk coif that goes around it, like attached coif around it, that when pulled over the head would drape across the shoulders.
Nothing feels abnormal about it as at this time.
Nothing feels abnormal about it. Nope. It doesn't have like any aura or anything of that type.
About how far into the night timeline are we? It was like 45 minutes when I first kind of had 1 minute.
This was probably It's probably no more than another 30 minutes for all of the investigations back and forth, turning off the braziers, the daylight spell, the whole everything. So you're just coming up
Yeah,
right
I'm
now
getting
in about
closer.
2 hours where
Yeah.
you need to
I need
head to bed.
Thanks, guys. We'll figure what this is out in the morning. I don't think we're missing this too much until I can.
If you want, I'll probably be up around the time Doc is.
Yeah.
I can give it to him. Have him look at it.
I'll show it to him myself.
Okay.
So I'll probably use the last like 30 minutes or so of my time to make bed, maybe kind of make sure it seems safe enough to put it in my pack.
Okay. You'd have enough time to technically take a short rest, finger quotes,
Yeah, I'll short
to
rest
figure it out.
I'll short rest it.
Absolutely.
So I'll pillow fort it with our take the next bed. He can see us, but we can't see him, right?
I believe so, yeah, because you can see out of the hut, but you can't see into it.
Give me 1 second. I did not print this out.
Oh, let's give you something a little bit bigger.
You know, there are more blankets.
If it is grape salad, you get better, right? You get 2 fingers on
Yeah,
it.
Dale's like, Arax wants to be able to go back into the hut when he needs to at some point in the future.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually.
And there.
All right.
Yeah.
I didn't print this
That's
one
fine,
out,
That's fine.
but it is simply referred to by the unassuming name, the Black Hood.
Not to be confused with the White Hood.
Right. Cannot confuse it with
He
the
wouldn't let me have that.
Not even remotely close.
No, I'm just assuming.
It adds a +2 to your wisdom score, up to a maximum of 20.
No worries with that.
And 3 times per day, you can cast the silence spell. Centered on yourself and cannot be dismissed.
Only on myself?
Yep. Requires attunement.
Plus.
Sweet. I'll use that over in our sleep.
This guy's not
So,
pissed
I'll
off.
bring you the paper for that one next week.
So this guy's going to get so pissed off.
Why?
Still this thing.
That might not be his thing. He seems pretty good with this stuff.
You know what? Maybe it's leftover from his previous
Or the
boss.
people before that, or the people before that, or people who made this place.
Or it's just what they use on their apprentices when they first bring them here.
But I have a feeling not, because he worships Anubis specifically. And it was through Anubis' face.
True. But if he feels like what he's doing is guided by Anubis, he might feel like this place was constructed by other followers of Anubis or guided by Anubis.
Maybe.
Should I roll my dice now? For the sleep? Reset?
Her bow.
Yeah, the 2.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Go right ahead. Everybody's going to sleep. Everybody long rest, the whole everything.
6 and 15.
All right.
And I unattune tongues and I reattune remove curse.
Okay.
You get time?
I guess attune wasn't the right word there.
Yeah, prepare.
We all do the word thing today.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
Tired is tired or shit tired?
Yes.
Hey.
Pretty much how it goes.
all right.
Actually, Actually, we hang that blanket up on the hut again. We could like use it to make puppet shadow figures for bed.
All right. Morning comes. As much as it is. Liamon's hut drops. Party gets ready.
Yeah, no, whenever they wake up, I'll be doing dinosaur figures in the one lit brazier because I never lit the rest back up.
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
fair enough. Okay. Dothmar, you gonna light the braziers when you wake up?
Yeah, when I wake up, I'll go ahead and start using firebolt to light up.
I just figured you would use the command word.
Oh, yeah, I'll just use a command word.
How would you
Let's pretend I told you what the Egyptian sounding word for light is.
Gotcha. And Dothmar says it.
And all of the braziers light up.
He's a witch. Burn him.
Gosh, what the fuck
Good
was that?
fucking luck. Boy, I looked at him.
I didn't know you could do that.
Or speak that.
Good to know.
What else does that tongue do, dog?
You wish.
About an hour after you all wake up, start getting all of your stuff ready. By this point, you're basically all ready to head out. And Amon Root comes down from the stairs. Ah, glad to see that you are all well rested.
Much, thank you.
Very much so.
As a sign of good grace, I will not force you to walk back through my tunnel.
Thanks.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
If you would all care to walk with me. And he turns around and walks back up the stairs.
I follow.
Turning around the corner, heading up the flight of stairs. This section of the pyramid is the final floor. And it is quite obvious that it's the final floor because you can see in the pitched roof at the very apex, you can see the bottom of the capstone of the pyramid
Okay.
showing through an opening in the walls. Ceiling figure quotes, if you will. On this floor is off to one side appears to be a similar setup to what you all slept on the night before, complete with curtained rugs. These are more lavish. They look significantly thicker. The pillows, whereas in the lower level you only saw a couple of them that were filled with that silk fiber, these ones all apparently are all filled with that. You don't see any of the lumpier down ones.
Before we left, yeah, someone had grabbed one of the pillows and tossed it in his bag, by the way.
Why are we stealing?
Because I want to have a collection of pillows back at the tower.
We can
Fair enough.
buy you
Yeah.
pillows.
Do you have
I know.
do you have a specification on what you were looking for a pillow?
No.
Just pretty much any of them?
Just a pillow.
Okay.
I just want to have like a collection of like pillows back at the tower.
Okay. You end up grabbing a 1.5 by 1.5 dark navy blue, thickly filled pillow. It doesn't have a whole lot of give to it. That is very finely embroidered across the front of it with what appears to be a scene of water lilies across the front.
I like.
On the top floor, you see the sleeping area off to the one side. There are a number of countertops along the left-hand side that all appear to have various apparatus, all used in various forms of magical, like minor magical experimentation. A lot of the larger apparatus were down in the lower floor where the undead or the bodies were, but these would be things like for smaller potions, a small area for like cutting and crafting things, that type of stuff along the one side of the room. Alongside the other side of the room are several cases that have a number of, one of which has a long, incredibly smooth golden staff topped with an ankh. The next one has inside of it a much more ornate version of what Amonra is wearing currently, including the gorget, several arm torques, several, like one of which is a combination bracelet and clawed rings intended for a hand, all set on a what looks to be like a dark wooden mannequin. And in the last case off to that side is a short rod, a scepter, that appears to be made of a mixture of some sort of dark black material, very glossy, interwoven with gold, that appears to be the reared back head of a cobra with hood spread wide. Most of the scales are black, with only a couple of them scattered throughout that are gold, and a intricate sigil on the hood done in gold. In the center of this end of the floor is inset a something similar to what you've seen before. It's a teleportation circle, but this one seems to be modified. This one doesn't have the standard sigils around the outside like the other ones do. This one simply has a series of brass and gold and silver rings that are all inset around the outside in concentric circles. But more important to you, Dothamar, on the far end of the room is a dark wood desk set all the way in the corner, and standing in front of that on two incredibly large podiums are what look to be tomes, one on each podium. These tomes are massive, every bit of 4 foot by 4 foot when they're open, which they are currently on the podium. And these radiate magic. Tremendous magic. These glow brighter than anything you've ever seen before. Nearly to the point of blindness.
God damn.
It's incredibly difficult to even get an idea of what the aura is on these. They don't appear to have a color. They're just so bright that there's just a feeling.
Okay.
The one appears to be made out of pages made out of some sort of specially treated stone. Pure white, almost marble-like. The other one appears to be made out of some sort of metal that you can't place. It, like the stone, probably some sort of treated metal, but nothing that resembles anything you would have ever seen.
Technically, yeah,
Please.
fast enough.
step into the circle, and I will teleport you back to the village.
Can I just take a look at one of those books for just like a second?
I will leave that up to you. If you would like to, by all means. But know that meddling in magic that you are unready for is very dangerous.
Would I ever have the option of coming back?
It's not entirely up to me.
I'm just gonna take a quick moment. Can you just keep your eyes on me for just a second? I'm just gonna flip out. I'm gonna open up the first page of the metal book.
Making sure to stay within 30 feet.
Yeah, that's one thing. You know how your abilities work way better than I know how they work. Okay.
The books are already open.
Oh, okay.
Each one of them is
4
already
feet by 4
open
feet
on
wide.
the podium.
So I'm just gonna
Stone one or the metal one?
metal.
Come on. Lost art.
Oh,
Technically,
but I
yeah.
know what that
Melt
book
his
is, and I
face.
bet you're about to take some damage.
Yep.
You know, technically
Lost
he
art.
also is fast
Melt
enough.
his face off.
If you give him your portable pole, he can toss balls in there and be back in the circle.
Why are we gonna make him an enemy? Why do you want to make enemies of
I'm
everyone?
not trying to make.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to him.
I know, but like, and I'm tired, but I'm trying to get on the same page. But like, don't. He doesn't have to be our enemy.
You said metal or stone?
Metal.
Metal.
Yeah, Book of
Wrong
Life,
one.
Book of Death. I know which one I'm looking
We're
at.
totally excited and happy to trade you off to not make an enemy.
I don't
You did
think
something.
that they're both like book of death.
Well, both of them are books from Anubis in Egyptian mythology.
I just figured it was two manuals, one of Stone Golem, one of Iron Golem.
No.
You're about
No.
to take the large
They
amount
have
of psychic
they'll have
damage
like
that
what
comes
you
with
did
trying to
during
read
your
it.
life.
Okay.
It's kind of like in,
I need you to
in-
make
in Greece, like,
an
the
intelligence saving
Greeks,
throw.
like,
Okay, intelligence saving throw. Do
like,
that.
the lives they needed in your life. It's one of the things he
This is to see whether you can even read anything in the book at all.
You can always take some etchings with you. Maybe.
9.
You fumbled. Do you want to ask for help? No. Like, if you can't read it now, we can see if we'll let us make an imprint of it. It's written in metal.
All right.
You can
This is going to be a fairly lengthy process. I need you to start out by making
practice. Melt your face.
all right.
So remember all the magic stuff and you told us we couldn't touch it?
I didn't touch those things.
Touch it with your eyes.
Not how looking even works.
That's not even kind of how looking
And
works.
yet, none of us are willing to pull out the D20s here.
I figuratively, you could say that you touched it with your gaze.
With your consciousness.
Okay, that was cool.
I'm touching you in my mind.
All right.
Or it's touching you in your mind. I don't know. We're going to find out.
First, I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
Maybe it just really, really likes you.
Oh, it doesn't
13.
Oh, there you go.
What the hell's going on down there? When I'm
Don't
not
worry
looking?
about it.
Nothing.
Okay.
Don't tell Dad. You're okay. You're okay. Just don't tell Dad.
13.
I don't have any idea the amount of times it was said.
I know. Trust me. I have younger siblings too. You're okay. Don't tell Dad.
You have more than one?
Probably.
I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Shit.
Oh, you had a +2.
He's over here.
25.
Oh, hell. Oh, shit.
So you take
Oh, hell.
20 points of psychic damage. The DC
You
is
literally
40.
go from a fumble to.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, this is bullshit.
Come
No.
on, Squishy.
Is he making a saving throw for each one?
Come on, Squishy.
18.
You think lucky as fuck.
Will you shut the fuck up?
No.
No.
I need you to make an intelligence saving throw.
Another intelligence saving.
Now they're using wisdom.
23.
I probably should have put less on you first.
Yeah.
That would get so much
I need you to
fucking
make
mileage.
a dexterity saving throw.
Woo. Come on, athletic.
18.
And finally, I need you to make a strength saving throw.
No, I'm sorry. That was not 18. That was modified 20. I looked at the wrong one.
On the dex?
Yeah.
Okay.
15 for strength.
So how many different ways did he just die?
Okay.
Well, let's see what sucks him in with the strength one first.
Staring down at the book, your vision starts to spiral. There's words here, but you can't see them. You know that they're there. All you see is emotions. They have form here. They have function. And you're overwhelmed. The world around you goes completely silent. You try to scream, call out to your friends. No sound. No noise. It's confusing because you know that you should be safe. I mean, your friend told you that you can look at the book.
Yeah.
I mean, he's your friend. Why would he tell you to do something dangerous? I mean, you trust him. You trust him explicitly.
It could be used as a ditch.
And it's even more confusing because you try to turn, to walk away from the book, but you can't. And the last thing that you see is your hands that are resting on the podium turn to stone as everything goes black.
God damn it, Doc. You're the only way to get off this fucking plane.
What do we see happening, guys?
You don't see anything at first. You just watch as his vision just goes blank. And then he looks confused for a minute as he tries to yell for help, but you don't hear anything. Nothing comes out.
And we're sitting there watching.
You guys-
Schmucks.
And then he looks
We're just schmucks.
then he looks hurt, like betrayed for half a second before you see his body turn to stone.
Reverse.
Wait.
Does not work.
Well, I guess we're going to see if we can carry our new garden ornament to the tower.
I'm en route. Do you know? What do we do?
I told him it is never a good idea to mess with magic that you don't know.
That's fair. He doesn't usually listen.
Quick whispered. And your vision comes back from black as you turn back to flesh.
You okay, Doc?
Let's carve something on him first.
Well, that was interesting. How was that?
What to think about.
So
Wanna try
hard
again?
lesson?
He says the words. No sound comes out.
Almond root, can you make this permanent?
If he had been the actual target of the spell, it may very well be. As it is, it should be gone in less than 24 hours.
Oh, that's fine.
Really, that's for the best. You can't cast. without a
And you
mouth.
hear him,
We do need him.
and you trust him. You know that what he says is true.
Right.
Just inside, you know that anything he says
Shit.
is true.
You.
So
Gotcha.
if Anubis fucks him, but it's the human half, it's not bestiality, right?
We're not going down that path.
When the camera's off, can we go down that path?
No, because if we're going down that path, I'll make fucking money off that shit.
That's fair. That's fair.
No, we're not going down.
You're gonna get fucked.
Did you want to keep this for some reason? Or was it just projectile?
Just projectile.
Yeah. Rock hard. So does that lesson hurt? A little heavy? Sits in your stomach weird.
Hey, Doc, don't say anything if you're a bitch.
Trust me,
Huh?
it is not a spell that many could withstand. You did not fail today.
Perhaps.
Nothing's a failure if you learn a lesson.
I'm not sure what you're looking for in the book.
Pride?
I think he's trying to
Not
find
the
something
spell.
he can use to kill me without having to
He's looking
speak.
for pride.
I think you'd find the spell. The spell's like a mix of like 10 there, wasn't it?
So do you still have your little sriracha side saddle bottle full of testicles?
There's a reason why these spells are up there. This is not something you'll find in the book. This is not something you'll find on the internet.
Maybe if you drink that potion now and get the magic resistance. you
So
can
we're
try
just
it.
gonna fight. So we're gonna set both of your sugar daddies against
Ouch.
each other.
That's an ouch.
Who wins? The
All right, so if you are ready,
Please.
Yes.
please enter the circle.
Wait, that like set of armor and whatnot over there. I'm guessing that's your battle gear, right? Or rather,
Ritual?
ceremonial gear.
As more ceremonial.
Okay. I was just curious about that.
I do not find much use for it these days. So, are you ready to enter the circle? And you watch as he casts a spell. And as he finishes the spell, he reaches down and lays his hand across the metal rungs, and the teleportation spell spreads, and the world disappears. As you all appear with a slight jolt on the promontory of the Swerfneblin village, close to where the docks are.
Sweet. There'll be some explaining to do.
Yeah.
So, guess I have to leave now. now.
Kind of let the charismatic voice of the group go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's ironic. Ouch, that hurts. That hurt. That wasn't even towards me, and that hurt a little bit. Oh. Got quite some skill there to fucking that hurt, and it wasn't even aimed at me.
I feel really, really bad for you. Let me just. I want to cast Lesser Restoration on you. I know it's not going to do anything, but I'm gonna try.
You can cast tunnels on it, maybe.
There was a little bit of wariness left, even after you turned back into a human form.
Mhm.
You definitely feel better. Like
I'm sorry,
there's-
human form?
like as opposed to stone.
Lame.
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 Okay.
Lame.
That was
For a
that shit
moment,
he
you
talked-
turned into a gerbil.
All that shit he
Yeah,
talked.
no.
Gerbil.
As long as I'm back to being an elf, I'm good.
Yeah.
Fucking racist.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's nothing wrong with humans.
No, you
I mean-
said plainly that you think otherwise.
Is that what I said? Or is that just what you're inferring?
What happened?
When he was bitching about humans.
Oh, you know the other day when we were all talking?
Yeah.
That's different. That wasn't Dothamar. That was George. You pissed at George.
But Dr. Mark's an elf, so we can make the assumption of what
Oh, no.
thinks.
There's. I don't think Dothamar is prejudiced against humans. I think Dothamar just doesn't care that they exist.
No.
That's
That
fair.
sounds more accurate.
Like,
That sounds far more accurate.
yeah,
Can't
I
tell us
would.
right now, though.
I think that's
There's
pretty
probably
typically
certain
overused.
types of personalities he's prejudiced against very heavily. And Dothamar doesn't strike me as the type who would be prejudiced against race. Like, that just, you either mean something to him or you literally don't exist.
Don't you hate Drow or some other race?
No. I mean, he does hate a group of people, but I don't think you've mentioned
Yes.
it to the group.
If someone like killed your family or your village or something.
Yeah, but it's only
Arkin
this.
doesn't know that.
Yeah, Arkin doesn't know that.
No, I heard them arguing about it. That's how I know about
I think you heard George and Cody arguing about it.
You never heard.
I don't think you heard
it.
Dothamar
It
Dothamar.
was
and-
Daniel.
Daniel?
Daniel, they were talking
Yeah.
about.
I'm tired, man. Give me some fucking.
He was talking about like killing Drow, and then they started talking about who everyone hated in groups and why.
Well, I'm pretty sure we all know the group that George hates.
Which is.
Women?
Currently the one that he's in.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no. So you've got 3. You're up to 8 or something. Yeah, 1. You're nice.
what are these tallies?
Yep.
Intriguing.
I'm only single digits after a year and a half.
I think it's just coming today.
It feels like a year and a half.
Just
It's
today.
actually not.
April, May.
Well, that's
yeah.
just for
No.
today.
That's just for today.
June.
I think Laura and I would be
June
in
was when we
triple
actually started
digits
this campaign.
if it were the whole
It's
time.
been a year for this campaign.
Correct.
In about
Correct.
So we
11
start in
months.
Pride Month.
23 sessions total. So technically, we've only we've only managed
So
to
2
get
a
half we've only managed to get half of them out of the whole entire year.
It's been like 8 or 9 months that I've been in this campaign.
Correct.
Yeah, about
So, anyway, finding yourselves back on the Swift-Neblin village.
still
You have
the
some work to
same
do.
as-
I feel like they're absolutely not going to leave.
They're definitely not.
We could kill them, put them out of their misery.
I mean,
Yeah, but that's like, why would we waste the effort to do that if they're just going to die from what necromancer's going to do anyways?
Better us than it. I don't know.
Yeah, you just want to look in the fucking kid's eyes as you stab him to death again.
I don't have to stab them.
So-
I'll just kick it.
Exactly.
this is Daniel talking not wrong, but we could just let them. We could warn them, obviously, and be like, "Well, no matter what, this is going to happen in 10 days. Just letting you know.
9 days at this point.
9 days. Bye. We're not going to be here for that."
Yeah,
Yeah,
that guy's
but
big and
hasn't-
scary. We can't beat
Hasn't
him.
Ark kind of built a connection with them?
He has, yeah. Daniel hasn't, but he has.
Right. No, I feel that.
You know, technically, if we kill
Daniel's a pragmatist. R is an eternal optimist.
technically we could kill this first Neblin, and then be doing a favor for the necromancer.
Not really. He doesn't care one way or the other.
He doesn't give a
What's
shit.
that?
Didn't I already
I'm
say
saying
to kill them?
Idea.
I don't know. I don't know that I heard you say that.
Idea.
But I could be wrong.
No, she did say it, and I said,
Oh.
And that's the start of the whole like, why would we bother to do that? And it was better him killing them or us killing them. And he's like, you just want to stab children. And I was like, I would kick them.
Oh. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, like why bloody up a knife?
Lead the worm to the middle of the village right as that goes off.
So we're still going to kill them, but in a less direct route.
So you are saying bait the worm back to the village when the spell goes off.
Ooh, what type of spell is it? Is it like thunderstorm and rain?
It's
Maybe.
whatever storm spell it was last time that fucked up that village and killed all
Yeah,
those people.
basically, I'm
But
thinking
more powerful.
Death Tornado, but that's just
That was
Is that an
actually
actual spell?
called.
no.
Let's actually ask next week
Mm.
the Swift Nevlin what spell it was exactly that hit them.
Because if it's
Because they know.
Yeah.
well, but like okay, what natural features does the storm take? If it's something very loud and disorienting to the worms, that could benefit us as well.
Right. Well, we'll see
It's
what
thunder.
happens.
Yeah,
Thunder would
yeah, if it's thunder, rain, lightning, that sort of fun stuff. Hey, maybe
Okay.
they even talk.
So, there's a choice to be made here, and I need a decision from the group. Do we wish to make a concerted effort to get everything done as far as talking to the Svirfneblin, whatever preparations need to be done, and fighting the worm next session? Or would you rather have a session to plan, to prepare, to get things ready, then fight the worm the following week?
How do you guys want to do it?
I mean, we're technically capable of either.
There's
I
a
think-
very real possibility if that we attempt to do the whole Svirfneblin plus plan plus prepare plus worm, that it's going to be a very long session.
So, do you guys would rather split it into 2 sessions or one?
Well, can we start early next week because we don't have plans Saturday? Do we already know everyone's schedules?
I don't have any plans on Saturday morning.
I have a few plans just because it's my girlfriend's birthday. But
Then maybe not starting too early then.
not
Okay.
stupid early. Plus,
Right.
I was actually taking you out for your birthday next
Yeah.
week as well.
Yeah,
So
How's
should we
that
just go
gonna
ahead?
that's right. Fuck.
How's that going to
So-
work? Because aren't you going to be missing teeth?
Hmm?
How many days
Shit,
post
that's
How
right.
many days post-op are you?
At that point, that's going to be so that's going to be Thursday,
Thursday,
Friday,
Friday,
Saturday, 3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he'll be fine. He's going to be high as fuck. He'll be fine. He
Okay.
can talk. He can eat. Maybe.
We'll see. I'll
Perhaps.
Because
spoon-
that's,
I'll spoon it
because
in
that's
my
not the
mouth.
thing that you
You're
want
still
from a
good
wizard
for
when
it,
he's like
we'll go.
in
If not,
Yeah.
combat is high
I'll
as
let you
fuck.
know.
Are you
Um,
thinking more like,
Or are you
again,
gonna
talking,
use
trying to
No,
like,
they're getting
face-
cold.
Okay, so do we want to just plan for the safe side and do it two sessions?
Safe side 2 sessions, but
Because-
if we think we can do it,
Well, I need to know
Right.
now because of preparations that need to be made.
Gotcha.
So,
Let's plan for safe side.
safe
Yeah,
side.
just do 2 sessions.
with your girlfriend's birthday, with you going out for your birthday, blah blah blah.
Right.
Okay.
The fact that we're dumbasses will probably take longer anyways.
No.
I
Don't
don't
look
expect
at them.
anything to ever go quick with this group.
All right. Cool. So, next session.
Wait, what day is it that you're not coming? So next week you're here.
Oh, wait.
The week after you're not here.
It's the week after that I'm not here.
So that'll be 3 weeks
So
before
it'll
we
be 3
get
weeks from now before we actually get the worm killed.
to the work.
Okay.
That sound okay?
We could do that thing that we were talking about. Playtest.
Seekers isn't nice and
We
fresh.
fighters?
What's that?
Your fighter subclass?
Ooh, we could just do 1v1s and test out all your subclasses and whatnot.
What for? Like one shots?
Yeah.
Oh, like an actual one shot or 1v1s?
Either or, doesn't matter.
I mean, a one shot would probably be a better way of testing something out as opposed
Yeah.
to going 1v1.
Well, yeah, no, especially with like the fire, the marshal, the field marshal.
Yeah, the actual marshal with the auras.
Well,
Yeah.
if we're all gonna be involved, then I'm probably gonna try to do the wizard.
Oh, the master of the unseen hand.
I'll fuck around with the monk class.
Okay. All right, I like the idea.
Yeah.
I'll put them in. Yeah, I'll put them in chat, in group chat.
Mm.
Well, I mean,
In Discord.
in Discord because
Yeah.
that's what everybody here has. God damn it, Daniel.
I'm right behind you. Don't
I even
worry.
tried fucking texting you in the interim, and like you don't fucking answer my text messages back. Shit.
He does that.
Yeah,
Wait,
don't
really?
fucking open your mouth, motherfucker.
Oh,
God
I know.
damn it.
Yeah, right. No, because we don't want to see your
All right, I'm ending stream. So next next week you plan.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. So I'll go.